What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am so excited you are here. We're gonna learn together. This is the Tarver Academy Summer Professional Development. We're gonna learn. Learning's happening. It's going down today. We're about to get started. My name is Tyler. I run Tarver Academy. It's an online resource for teachers and students and educators, and it's a great community where people just get involved and learn and get better. And I throw resources to you guys, throw ideas around. It's just a lot of fun. Just a whole lot of fun, Tarver Academy. So if you need anything, I'm here. TarverAcademy.com has a ton of resources and things that you can go to check out. A little bit about me, just so you know, you don't think I'm just like, hey, here's a random YouTuber talking about, videos or whatever. My name's Tyler. I started out teaching high school math, and then I moved into a tech director / facilitator role. Then I was a principal of a school, 6th through 12th grade. 6th through 12th grade. Fun ages. That's good stuff, okay? Good stuff. Never any drama, 6th through 12th grade. No drama. And our school had waivers from the state, so we did a lot of online, we did a lot of blended, we did a lot of in-person learning, all the above. So we get to learn a lot, make some mistakes, do some stuff right, and try to learn from everything we did. Then after that, I went to central office, and I was director of curriculum instruction, and now I'm the dean of NLC College. And I'm so excited to be here, learning and growing with you guys. I'm also giving a little bit of time for people to jump in, get started, and we're about to go through some of the housekeeping stuff. We're gonna do a little check-in right now at the beginning, and then at the end of this video, at the end of this training, we're going to have a chance for you to get a certificate showing that you actually showed up and you did the learning, okay? I think that this training and the other trainings that you are gonna get the chance to be a part of this summer are gonna help you grow as an educator. And if you grow as an educator, all it does is help the students and the community that you live in. And so let's try our best to learn something, take something away from this that we can put in our repertoire and get better with. Okay, so the first thing I need you guys to do is I need us to check in, okay? And this check-in, what it does is it timestamps when you are here so that you might not need this later, but if your administrator or whoever comes back and they're like, how do I know you didn't just click to the end? This shows that you were here at the beginning. So you can scan the QR code that is on the screen if you have your cell phone. And on my phone with me, get your phone out. I'll use my wallet, Atlanta Braves wallet. Film that, you just hold your phone over that QR code that you see on the screen. You'll see something pop up at the top. Click that and it'll take you to where you can fill out that you were here. It's very short, very quick. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to do that right now. Go ahead, scan the QR code, go to the website, check in, and when you do that, you will get an email. If you do not get an email immediately, this happened, I told you, I was a tech director for a long time, okay? I'd say a long time. I was a tech director long enough to know that if you don't get that email that you're filling out right now, it's because you typed your email address in wrong. That's exactly what happens. 19 times out of 19 and a half times, that's what happens. So go ahead and go to that. Remember, at the end of this session, there's gonna be another QR code that you're gonna scan that is going to give you the certification saying that you actually did the training. Both of these are time-stamped. So if your administrator or whoever's in charge of PD for your district wants to see that and be like, how do I know you did this? You've got your check-in email that is time-stamped by me, not by you. It's into a PDF or it's into that email. And then you will also have the timestamp on your certificate showing that you did this. Okay, so hopefully everybody is getting that done. Okay, giving you a little bit of time. If you have any trouble, just keep trying because I think it's pretty important to get that logged in. Now, while we're doing that, if you're finishing that up, or if you can hear me, what I would love for you to do is I would love for you to hit the red subscribe button. This is my YouTube channel, Tarver Academy. That's what I call it. It's kind of where I got this started. I had this before I had the website, and then I put up the website to put all the resources and all the stuff I was doing. But if you would hit the red subscribe button right now, that would be huge. That would be just super cool of you. And that way, you can hopefully see some of the other trainings that I'm doing, see some videos I do throughout the year to help teachers, to help students, to have fun and learn together. So hit that red subscribe button. Did you do it? Did you? You get the like too, the little thumbs up. That's just YouTube etiquette. You hit the thumbs up. It's just really nice to do. So you want to hit the thumbs up button, you can. And I would love to start this. How about this? in the chat, okay? Because if you're watching this on my website, which is where you can watch it, that's fine. You're not gonna see the chat, but if you click and watch this on YouTube, you're gonna see a chat rolling on the side of the screen. Start it off. I want you guys in the chat to say who you are, like give your name, tell us what you teach and where you teach, okay? If you're an administrator, you can say that I'm a principal, or you can say your central office, whatever you do. I've got some people that have signed up for this that are aspiring educators. So this is great to say, I wanna be an educator, I wanna be an English teacher for high school, throw that in there. If you wanna be a kindergarten teacher, toss that in there, say you're in school. It's a great way to network, because I think there is an amazing community of educators here wanting to learn and grow together. And I think that it's great if we look out for each other. So throw in the chat, I want you to say your name, what you teach, and where you teach. Throw that in the chat. All right, man, we're doing good. We're doing good. It's our warm up. We're feeling good. We're stretching it out. It's always good to stretch before you stretch. I don't know, I heard some friends say that, so I say it from time to time. Okay, next thing. This is another little thing. I've got one right here. So I've written a couple books. I've done Superheroes Need Sleep Too. This is a children's book. It's like a nap time book, so you don't have to read that. But this one I think is super relevant for you. This is the Baller Teacher Playbook, and in it I have like practical advice. It's 18 chapters. So the idea is that you could do this like once a week with your team for a full semester, or every other week for a year, and try to improve your teaching every week. I'm not doing this to sell it to you. I'm doing this to say I'm giving some of these away all summer to people that are participating in this. So if you want a chance to win one of these, or I think I probably got some other educator books. If you're like, I don't really want your book, Tyler, I got a ton of educator books. I'll send them to you. All you got to do, follow me on Instagram at Tyler Tarver. Follow me at Tyler Tarver on Instagram, and I'm gonna be giving these out throughout the summer. You might be the person I give it to. So follow me on Instagram, and then throw something in your Instagram story if you want, just to increase your chances of me seeing it. So I'm just gonna be clicking through. I see people follow on Instagram. I'm gonna throw out stuff to them. So random people will get it. You might not, but you won't if you don't. So there we go. Y'all feeling good? Does everybody feel good? Everybody throw in the chat who they are, where they teach, what they teach. Okay, so to explain also what this is, you are watching, this is a live broadcast. So this is going as a YouTube premiere or a full-on live video. So one of the two. Either way, that chat is happening live. Everybody that jumps into this video at any point is gonna be watching it at the same time as you. So it's great to get in the chat and talk, discuss, ask questions, give input. If we ask a question in the video, you can type it in your notes, but you can also type it in the chat. You can copy paste from the chat. It's a great way for you to be a part of this live broadcast, okay? So if you have a Google Notes, if you have a notes document, if you wanna take notes by hand, I've got a template for notes if you want. It sent it to you whenever you filled out your email. It should have been on that page whenever you did your check-in at the beginning. If not, it's on like every PD page. I have my website, tarveracademy.com. Click on PD and you get a free notes template, or you can take notes in your own doc. However you want to do it, take notes, write down stuff that's relevant to you, and copy paste stuff that people put in the chat. There's gonna be people in the chat that are way smarter than me. And so I'd love for you to copy paste that into the notes, and you can take that and make your teaching game elevate. So next thing, while we're getting logged in, people are still jumping in here. They're still jumping in the video, giving you a few minutes to do that. We're also, if you want to watch these videos, because after this ends, it's going to be gone off of here. However, I'm going to be putting all of these trainings, all like 30 something trainings. I think it's over like 120 hours worth of trainings. I'm putting all of that for people that join what I call the Tarver Academy Honor Roll. It's a small group of educators who are trying to get better every week, and I send out weekly emails during the school year to where you're getting templates, you're getting resources, back to school starter kits, you're getting templates for Google Forms, trainings, PDs, tons of stuff every single week delivered to your inbox, and also you have access to all of these trainings. That is available if you go to tarveracademy.com/honor roll if you want to. I think it's a great decision. I think it's a great decision. Nobody's in here. Who am I talking to? I'm not talking to anybody. Okay, y'all feel good? Y'all ready to start? Y'all feel good? This is a little warm up. We'll explain what's going on. Everybody feel good? 1 to 10. Put in the chat how you feel today. Or give me this, how about this? Give me an emoji of how you're feeling today. That'd be better, 1 to 10, or give me an emoji. I'd love to see it. Or just give me a word. You're like, I don't want to do an emoji. Give me a word. How you feeling today? And let's get rolling. Remember, input in the chat, take notes, learn, grow. Welcome to the best professional development that you're gonna do. Not guaranteed, but it's an opinion, but it's also true, but it might be biased, but it's gonna be a great summer. It's gonna be a great training. Hope you guys learn something. Hope this adds you value that you can then bring to your students and make your school, your community, yourself better in some way. Guys, we're about to get started. Y'all excited? Y'all ready? About to do this. Let's get ready to learn and have fun. Tarver Academy. Let's go. Let's go. Hit it. Let's go. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for joining us. This is Tyler with Tarver Academy. What's up? How you living? And this is the session on YouTube in education. Okay, so this is a look. It's an overview of YouTube. It's a look at what it is, how it relates to education, things you can do, like different types of videos, things like that. Okay. Now, this training is different than my other training, which is my YouTube creator training. That's going to focus on how to like build a channel, create community, how to actually like more in depth on the types of educational videos you can create or look for. Even if you don't want to create for YouTube, it's, I think, a great session for understanding the depths of YouTube, whether you want to create, your students want to create, or you just want to utilize the platform better. But what I want to talk about in this training today with this YouTube and education is it's more of just like a talk. Like it's a sit and listen. Yes, you'll hopefully get some stuff out of it. Yes, hopefully you grab a couple channels you like. But for the most part, it's about learning about YouTube, what it offers, what it is, kind of like how it got started, all of this stuff within the world of YouTube. And I think one of the most important things to keep in mind whenever you're looking at YouTube and teaching students, number one, it is a fantastic learning tool. Okay, don't view YouTube as a negative. Yes, there's stuff on YouTube that students shouldn't watch. There's stuff that adults shouldn't watch on YouTube. There's also just a lot of boring stuff on YouTube. So I'm not saying that everything on YouTube is absolute pure gold, go out into the world. I'm saying that what you've got in the world of YouTube is the opportunity to learn. Just like anything else in the world, social media, food, places to live. Like there's always pros and cons. There's always good that can come out of it and bad that can come out of it. And so what you've got to do is you've got to learn about the platform, learn how to teach your students to be responsible on that platform, set clear rules, standards, guidelines for how they're supposed to act on the platform, and then go for it. Learn. Here's one of the cool things. Okay, I want to give you two things before we start. I'm going to talk about a lot today, but there's two things I want to start with. Number one, and we talked about this in the training we did on diversity in education. This, according to research studies that I'm looking at as I go through my dissertation, which is focused on how to engage learners with online educational video, one of the things that I'm seeing in those research studies is that if you allow your students to watch videos by people that don't look like them or people that look like them that they might not get to see be the experts in these fields, that might not usually get to teach them, if you do that, what you're doing is you're opening up a whole world of empathy, compassion, and the ability for people to see themselves in the role of what you're trying to teach. Okay? So it's, I think my friend, I didn't make up this term, I'm not going to steal it. Deshae Lewis, she's an educator, amazing educator, and she's on TikTok. Check her out at Lessons with Lewis. And she used the term windows and mirrors. She talks about how we can see through a window to see other people, see somebody that we might not usually see, or hear from somebody that lives somewhere we might not usually go, might not ever go. And then mirrors, we can also see ourselves in that. It reflects back on us and we feel like we can be in that role or we can do that thing. So if you want to empower your students to learn high school math, and you're up there and you obviously know a lot about math because you're teaching it, maybe you could show a couple videos every now and then of students who look like your students who don't look like you. And they can see someone that they could see themselves in that seat learning that concept or learning about math or being the expert in the room. And so I think it's helpful and beneficial to start incorporating those types of YouTube videos that include more people, that are more inclusive and diverse in who is teaching and who is the expert in the field you are teaching. Okay. Now, the second thing I wanted to kind of hit with and start with is why this is important. YouTube, it's a social media tool. It's a website. It's a learning tool. It can be called a lot of different things. But what it is, it's a community. It's a place where young people, especially young people, they go in and they feel connected to these YouTubers. They feel attacked, they feel like they know these people. Here, okay, in the chat, what is a YouTuber that you enjoy watching? Put it in the chat. I want to know in your comments, your notes, or in the chat. Write down a YouTuber you enjoy watching, you enjoy consuming their content. Okay, for me, it was a New York-based filmmaker named Casey Neistat. I liked his stuff. He's not education. I mean, you can learn stuff from some of his videos, but he's not education focused, so don't just play his videos for your class. Okay, he may cuss, and I don't want you to show them a cuss word. That's bad. But I used to watch his videos. I loved his videos. He'd make a video about once every 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. And then, back in probably 2015 or 16, he started doing what's called a vlog. And we're gonna talk about vlogs later, but it's like a blog. I used to write about your day or write about your thoughts. It's like that, but video blog, like you vlog it. And so people would film their day. And people had done vlogs before, but I love his method for storytelling. And again, I even created an entire, I pulled it from what he teaches. And we're going to talk about that. I don't know if it's in this session, in this training, or in the YouTube creator training, but it's in the YouTube creator training, sorry. But the way he told stories, the way he documented his day, and then tried to pull something out of it to give to the audience, I like that. I didn't watch a lot of TV shows over the year and a half, 2 years that he made vlogs every day. He made a 10 to 20 minute video every single day. And guess what? I watched every single one of them. Now, did I sit around and just wait for him to make a video? No. But I got push notifications when it popped up on my phone. I was like, I'm ready to go watch it. And then as soon as I got off work or whatever, or let's be honest, if I had like a long restroom break, if you will, I would go watch a 10-minute video. It's whatever, okay? Being honest, transparent with you guys. And in the chat, tell us if you've ever done that. No, I'm just kidding. Don't tell us that. And so I was connected to him. I'd never met him, but I felt connected to him, more connected than we do to actors or to, somebody that we see on TV. You know why? Because whenever I'm watching those, he is talking into a camera, editing, and then putting it up. But when I'm watching them, when I'm looking at my phone and I'm watching it on the other side, guess what? He's looking me directly in the eyes. He feels like I know he's not talking to me, but it feels like he is. And I'm a grown man. Can you imagine how this feels for young people who watch these YouTubers and these vloggers and these influencers or whoever? They're watching their videos every day. They feel like they know them. They feel connected to them. And I wanted to give you an example. This was really cool that somebody did for me. A couple years ago, I was speaking at a conference, and it was ISTE. In the chat, have you ever been to ISTE? If you have, tell us about ISTE, that you've been there. If you haven't, tell me your favorite conference you've ever been to. I'm just interested. I love conferences. I love speaking at conferences, so I'd love to find some new ones to go to. And I was at ISTE, and I was chilling, and I saw a dude talking. I go, I know that guy. I know that person standing over there talking to his friend. And I was sitting there thinking, okay, how do I know him? And I knew how I know him. I knew how I know him. Here's how I knew him. My son, Titus, my oldest son, he would watch this guy's YouTube videos whenever he'd come out with a new video every 2 or 3 weeks or once a month or something like that. And his name was Mr. DeMayo. In the chat, have you ever heard of Mr. DeMayo? If not, you should go subscribe to him right now. He's an amazing YouTube educator. And he was a teacher, but he was making these really, really good, engaging videos for young people. My son would legit watch his videos on the solar system or dinosaurs or whatever it was about. He would go spend 20 minutes. As soon as he saw a video dropped, he'd go watch and he'd sit there. He loved it, okay? He was connected. This wasn't just like a video he watched. This is somebody that he wanted to learn from. Do you ever have students in your class that want to learn from you, that get connected to you and how you teach and the stories you tell and your personality? Yeah, that can happen through video as well. And at that conference, I was like, you know what would be cool? If I went and asked this dude if he was cool with just making a message to my son. And so I want to show you right now exactly what happened. And so here is us showing a video to my oldest son of his favorite YouTuber. Here we go. Hey, it's on there. Can you look at it real quick? Tell me what you think. There's a video I want to get your opinion on.
Me? Okay.
Yeah, just... Hey, what up, Titus? I got somebody here who wanted to say hello to you. Just ran across him and he wanted to say hi, so here he is.
What up, Titus? It's me, Mr. DeMayo, that guy you watch on YouTube, and I'm here with your dad talking about your gaming channel that you make. I'm curious about what kind of games, because I play video games too. I'm guessing Fortnite?
No, he's
What,
not.
Minecraft?
Mario. He's all Mario.
Oh, Mario,
stuff, like
okay.
N64 and Switch.
Super Smash was always my game. I play that like crazy. Mario Kart, I'm very good at that as well. I bet you I would beat you in Mario Kart. That's my game. I don't know about that. But Zelda was my number one. If you ever want to be brave and try that. Because that makes you really think. It's a good game. Anyway, keep making YouTube videos. Maybe one day we can make a YouTube video together someday. I told your dad to send me your channel. I'll check it out when I go home. But I will talk to you later. Goodbye.
What'd you think, bud?
I loved it. Who was that?
It was Mr.
What an awesome surprise, huh?
Did you see his face when it was like this disbelief? It was something that he was excited about because that's somebody that he connected with, a teacher he connected with who he's never met in person. That meant something to him. That meant something to him. And this is the first time he's ever addressed him as a person. It's not like on his videos, like, hey, Titus, we got a video today. No, but he feels like he's talking to him. Whenever you're showing videos or you're making videos or you're doing anything that's connecting something through video to students or to young people, to adults a lot of times, they feel connected to these people. They feel like this person is talking to them, that they're teaching it for them, maybe for this lesson, even though there's, thousands, if not millions of views. They feel like this person's talking to them. And so as you go into YouTube, if you're not using it, you should. If I'm being honest. If my school blocks it, stop. Stop blocking it. Whether you do something to where teachers can whitelist something and then allow it to be played to students, or it's you just open it up and you have set things in your handbook that says if you do this, this, or this, or watch this kind of video, this happens. It's discipline, okay? That's how we handle it. If a student walks into class and yells a cuss word, you can't prevent that. It happens. You follow the handbook. Same thing with watching a YouTube video that you shouldn't. Okay, so that's Tyler's opinion. What do I know? I'm just a YouTube math teacher. I'm just kidding. I do other stuff. So that's just, I'm sorry. That's my joke I do whenever I say something and I'm like, I shouldn't tell people what to do. My thing that I say to play off that is like, what do I know? I'm just a YouTube math teacher. I need to make more YouTube math videos, right? No, in the chat. What kind of videos do you want me to make? There you go. There you go. I'll make whatever you say. So the way today is going to roll out, I'll give you kind of the agenda for today. We're going to talk about community. We're going to talk about connection. We're going to talk about all that stuff. Again, this is a big overview of YouTube for education. So the way we're going to start it out is I'm going to show you, it's a session I created on YouTube and education. It's a talk I give at conferences and things like that whenever people want me to lean into it. I keep developing it over the years, but this is one that I recorded specifically for an online audience. And so as you watch this, take some notes, get some links. I think I have a link to the presentation if you want that, to get some links out of that presentation. But it's going to be a long look at YouTube for education. And that's going to be the bulk of our learning today. It's going to be the bulk of our learning today. After that, I got the chance to sit down with a YouTube educator, Tom Ritchie. He's super successful. He's an educator, teaches history, and he's been on YouTube. And I've gotten the chance to interview him a couple times. And this is our second interview we did together for my podcast. And I just wanted you guys to hear from him. We used this session in the Digital Educator Conference as well. If you saw that, it'll be a similar session to that. And by that, I mean, it'll be very similar. And then after that, it's something that I've never posted. It was an interview I did with a guy named Trey Van Camp. He's a communicator on YouTube, and he makes videos and social media stuff and teaches through YouTube. And I just wanted to sit down and talk with him as a creator. Tell me about being a creator on YouTube. Tell me about what you've learned in the process, what you like, what you dislike, all this stuff. And so we sat down and we just talked about YouTube and creating for YouTube, and that's it. We're doing the big session talking about YouTube and education, my interview with Tom Ritchie, history teacher, and then my interview with Trey, the YouTuber communicator. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you're going to do the training on YouTube creator training, then I think we're going to go more in depth. There's going to be a lot more pieces to it, but this is just a look at YouTube in education. Try to think of how this can fit, and you can adapt it in your classroom. Let's get started. Here we go. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Hello and welcome to a virtual PD on YouTube and education. My name is Tyler Tarver, educator. I've been an educator ever since I got out of college, and I've been doing it my whole life. I love it, and I love helping teachers and students grow and have fun with education. I think YouTube is a wonderful tool for people to use, even if they're not going to create for YouTube, but if they're going to use it in their classroom or for their learning. So today, let's get started and talk about YouTube for education. If you would, start us off, if you're watching live, go in the comments, or if you watch this later, in the comments, tell me, where are you coming from? What do you teach? And or what subject are you taking right now? What grade are you in? If you're a student or teacher or doing anything, I'd love to hear where you're coming from. Hit me up in the comments. HMU, that means hit me up. Okay, let's get started. So if you want to join along, we've got links in the description to some of the resources, including the presentation that you're looking at right now. Which way is it? It'd be on this side, right here. Okay, so check that out. If you want to join, it's at bit.ly, it's a bit.ly, bit.ly/YouTube 4 life, number 4 life, all lowercase. So go there, you can follow along on the presentation. There are links inside the presentation that give you resources and ideas. You can screenshot, you can do whatever you want to help grow in your classroom using the tools and the ideas that we're gonna throw at you today. So here we go. Well, if I remember how slideshows work, there it is. Okay, so let's first start off with this. I'm gonna kind of hit you with my experience on here, and it's not to say that everything I've done on YouTube is success. It's not, I promise you that, okay? However, I have been on YouTube for well over a decade doing educational videos. I was one of the first teachers out there throwing videos on there to help their students. And I did it because it was just convenient, which we'll talk about in a second. But over time, I have 2 channels, and those 2 channels have amassed over 60, almost 70,000 subscribers across the 2 channels and over 15 million views. So I'm not bragging, because there are tons of YouTubers that have way more than me, but I'm just saying it to say, whatever mistakes you're gonna make, I've made them. So hopefully through this tutorial, I'm gonna give you a head start on a way to be successful, whether you're making videos or you're just presenting videos to your classes. So before we get started, I'm not gonna go through and show you every single tutorial on how to use YouTube, how to make a playlist, how to start a YouTube. I'll talk about some of it briefly, but if you think I'm talking too fast, one, you can just rewind and watch it again, or you can watch it in half speed. That'd be weird. But also I've got a ton of YouTube resources on like actual tutorials that I've made, along with a ton of other Google resources I'm gonna show you. So I've got like a spreadsheet, it's bit.ly/gtarver, and it's also linked in the description, but it's got essentially how to do anything with Google. And I've got one on, there's a section on YouTube. So if you skip down to that, right there, boom, intro to YouTube. It's like a whole lesson plan that I created that you could give your students, you could go through, or you can give your students to go through. It's tailored to just literally, you can copy paste. YouTube channels, how to create a channel, what they are, YouTube playlists, all these tools that could help you with YouTube in the future. So there you go. There are the tutorials. Also, if you prefer websites, I've got them on my website at tarveracademy.com/Google. And so there's a ton of resources for people to use for Google and YouTube and all of the above. Okay, sweet. So now that we got that out of the way, so you're not like, hey, you didn't show me how to do it. It's in here, okay? So you've got the tutorials. Now, let's get on to YouTube for education. So, YouTube quick facts. One thing I think is important to know is some information about YouTube as a platform. YouTube is a social media platform. It's unique in that it is social media like Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. You can communicate, you have community. There are people that connect over that and find community there, just like social media. However, it is also a search tool. Fun fact, what is the #1 largest search engine in the entire world? It's Google. #2 is YouTube. Sorry, Bing, you didn't make the cut. It's YouTube. People search YouTube, and guess who owns both of them? Google does. Google owns Google and YouTube, so they own the top 2 search engines in the world. If people want to know something or learn something or expand, their knowledge, they're going to Google it or they're going to YouTube it, okay? And honestly, when you Google it, you're doing both, because Google wants to push YouTube to the top of the search because they want to promote their platform, and they know, you don't really get I've been on just Googling things for hours. No, but you'll look up and it's been 3 hours. You've just gone through like this wormhole of YouTube videos. So they know that grabs you and keeps you on their site longer than just Googling something. So it's something they're pushing that's important to them, okay? So some fun, quick facts about YouTube. Every single minute, over 300 hours of video is uploaded to YouTube. The amount of content on YouTube, the amount of resources that are there it's almost incomprehensible, because it's nonstop from so many sources, valid sources, non-valid sources, people like students making it, teachers making it, everybody that wants to produce content can produce it and put it on YouTube for free. So it is becoming this library of resources, not only like, oh, I can have community there, I can enjoy this as entertainment, but it's also education. And so I think the struggle for a lot of teachers is not, oh, wow, like, what am I going to use in my classroom? It's finding those good resources. It's navigating this huge library, this massive library of resources. How do I navigate that and help my students? So that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. It has over 1.3 billion users. That's a third of the internet. A third of the internet. It's insane. Top creators earn upwards of $20 million plus a year. Y'all ever heard of Ryan's Toy Review? You heard of Ryan? Yeah, Ryan is like 7 and made over 25 million just on YouTube ads last year. That's not including his toy partnership with Walmart. It's not including his, his Nickelodeon. They'll put his vlogs on Nickelodeon and play it as a show. Any of the brand deals where they, hey, we'll send you a toy for $5 million or $1 million or whatever, and you just play with it on your show. I'll tell you this. A lot of you guys are rolling your eyes in the fact that all these YouTube creators make so much money, but I'll be honest with you. They are underpaid for what they are bringing to companies that partner with them. And here's why. Is because YouTube, they have attention. People that watch, when my kids watch Ryan play with a toy, they want that toy because it looks fun. And their friend Ryan, who they watch every day, who they feel like they're friends with, they're going to want to play with the same toy. They trust Ryan. Whenever my son, we started a gaming channel, Tarver Gaming. That's what's up. It's my son's channel, and we film us just playing video games. When we first started making it, he would like look at the camera and he'd go, hey Ryan, if you're watching this, please like the video. Like he thought that Ryan, who has, tens of millions of subscribers, was just gonna watch our video, which Ryan, if you're watching, thanks for watching, like and subscribe. But also, it's a mindset that these young people have and that they feel connected to people online, which again, we're going to talk about that later when we talk about community. Now, one thing, before we get going, if you could, please, we're going to practice the thumbs up. Hit the like button on this video if you're watching this. If you have ever seen a YouTube video that you like, hit like on this video to make up for not liking the video that you actually liked. Plus, it's nice because, you're watching this for free, so I appreciate it. Hit like, hit subscribe. That's cool. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry, got distracted. Over half of YouTube's views are on mobile. It's way over that. That's even educational videos. So my educational math or Google tutorials or whatever I'm teaching on there, you would think like, oh, students are only going to watch a math video on a computer because they're doing homework that they're supposed to do. No, they will watch it on whatever device they have, because if I'm typing my paper on my computer, I'll just watch it on my phone or my tablet or something else. Mobile is the platform for the future. Okay, it is. Like I know desktops are prevalent right now, but devices, that's where we're going to go in the future. So if you're making content, keep in mind the mobile friendliness of whatever you're making. It reaches more 18 to 49-year-olds than any cable news network. That's insane. And you was talking earlier about the amount of money that marketers aren't putting into advertising on YouTube or putting into partnering with YouTubers. Commercials, TV commercials, is an $80 billion a year industry. When was the last time you watched a TV commercial? I'll answer that for you. It was on the Super Bowl. And you know what the last time before that was? The previous Super Bowl. Because we do not go in and just want to watch commercials. It's a nuisance to us. And they're putting all this money into something that people are going out to get to the fridge, or they're going to the restroom or whatever during those times. But you know what we're actually doing during those times? Most of the time now, we're pulling out our phone. If you're watching something on your TV and you're watching it on Hulu and an ad pops up, what do? You grab your phone, you check your text, you're looking on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You might be watching YouTube while you're waiting on another video to come on. They know the attention is on the phone. So these creators for the phone, when a kid in your class or your kids are like, I want to be a YouTuber, an Instagrammer, don't scoff at them. That is one of the most sought after jobs right now. And not just because it's awesome to travel the world and get paid for it, or play video games, get paid for it, but because it is profitable and it is a long lasting thing that those young people can turn into essentially any career they want. So if I'm a video game creator and I've got this following, after 5 years, I might get sick of doing video games. You know what? I'm just going to do a daily vlog where I just hang out with my family and I film it. A lot of that audience will stick with it because they feel like they're connected to those people. So know that if a student or somebody's like, I want to lean into YouTube, or you want to lean into YouTube, that's not something to laugh at. It is important, and you can provide people value, and you can also make a living off of it, possibly. So, and it's all thanks to Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. I don't know the specifics on this, but apparently there was something that happened on national television involving these two. I don't know what it was. I don't even know. But back then in 2000, was that 2004? The very beginning of 2004, one of the people that worked at PayPal, the online money people, he missed what happened at halftime. Well, everybody was talking about it, but nobody's like showing what happened. He's like, well, I want to know what happened. I want to see it. Everybody's talking about it. I can't even see what's happening. He's like, there should be an online platform where you can go and people can upload current things that are happening. So he helped create YouTube. And then like within a year, Google bought YouTube, and it became what it is today. So I want to talk about a couple features and a couple things that over the years of doing this presentation at conferences and at schools, it's questions I've gotten. And again, it's going to sound like I'm promoting like, hey, you should sign up for this or do this. I'm not. You do whatever you want to do. Okay, you do you, boo-boo. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to tell you about it so that you understand the difference, because a lot of people get confused because it's a similar branding. Okay, so let's start here. YouTube Premium. You have probably heard of this. This is something that YouTube will push on theirs. Like, don't want to see ads? Sign up for YouTube Premium. Try 1 month for free or 3 months free or whatever it is. YouTube Premium is essentially the premium version of YouTube, where you pay around $10 a month to not have to see an ad on any video. None at all. And you think to yourself, oh, that's great, but that's not worth $10. Well, that's not all you get for that. YouTube Premium, for about $10 a month, you get no ads on any video, which is convenient if you're playing a video for your class in the classroom and it comes up and there's some, inappropriate commercial or whatever that starts playing. You're like, cover your eyes. This one, you would have no ads, starts playing. It's not even an ad on the side, okay? Also, you get Google Play is what it used to be. Now it's YouTube Music. So you get free like streaming music where you can pick any song that's on YouTube. Fun fact, think of all the streaming services: Spotify, Apple Music, what else is there? Pandora, YouTube. 49% of the online music market is YouTube. So as big as Spotify is, YouTube has half of the entire market. So when you think of YouTube Music, they might be an up-and-comer as far as developing that app, but just know they have the largest amount of attention, the largest amount of library. So if I'm going to put my money anywhere, I'm putting it towards YouTube Music. Also, with that premium, you get originals. So it's like YouTube's version of Netflix. Like Justin Bieber did a documentary on it. Do y'all remember The Karate Kid, the movie from the 80s? Well, they did a spin-off TV show on YouTube Premium. It's a YouTube original, and it's called Cobra Kai, and it was pretty popular. They've done 2 or 3 seasons now. I saw the first season. It was really good. I heard most of the first season. I liked it. Not enough to, I guess, finish it, but I liked it, okay? So that's what YouTube Premium. You can also store videos offline. So if you're going to get on a flight, or say you're about to travel across the country and you don't want your kids to use all your data, on your iPad, while you have Wi-Fi, you can download a bunch of videos and save them from YouTube in the YouTube app on there. And then when they go on the road, you have no Wi-Fi and you don't want to use your data, they can just use the downloaded videos. If you get on a flight, I'll used to download a bunch of old Vine videos and watch them because it distracts me. And then also you can play audio in the background. So for instance, a lot of times when you're on YouTube and you start playing a video and then you switch out of YouTube, you lose it. So it's like, here, I start playing here. You can hear that video I started playing.
To prove you're the GOAT, this is your chance.
See, it still plays. I can go open up my texts. I can open up anything that I want. Instagram. Now I gotta get, that audio is loud. So I can keep playing the audio. It's a good way for you to listen. Like a lot of times I'll roll to a news station and start listening, and it'll just like scroll into other stuff off of it. And that's my audio. It's like I use YouTube for my podcast, which that's why like Joe Rogan, Mark Maron, all these dudes, they'll put their podcast on YouTube as well because people are using it just to listen, not to watch and listen. And you get all this for the same price as what you're paying for Spotify. And Spotify is essentially the equivalent of, YouTube Music. So just a thought, save yourself some money. I don't get any money off of that. If I do, cool, mail it to me. I don't care. Cash at me. I'm just kidding. Don't give me any of your money. Use it to make solid purchases. Okay, YouTube TV. This is different than YouTube Premium. You have YouTube Premium, which is like the step up from YouTube. And then you have YouTube TV, which is YouTube's attempt to go and take that cable news market, the cable TV market. They are partnered with like a ton, almost every channel. And then for I think it's $55 a month, you get to use YouTube TV app on your phone, your tablet, your TV, wherever you want. And you can add 5 family members to it, and they can have their own profile. They can DVR, I still call it DVR. They can save, DVR save any show they want, any movie they want that's playing on any channel. So I can go into my YouTube TV app and I can search The Walking Dead. And I say, yeah, I like this. I hit the plus sign. What it's gonna do is anytime The Walking Dead comes on any channel, it's going to save it for me at any point in time, as long as I like that still. It'll save it and store and organize it by season and episode across. So some of them might be from FX, some might be from AMC. Whatever channel it's playing on, it'll organize it for me into that. And then I can like skip through the ads by just like double tapping on the screen, and it'll skip through the commercials because, like I said, ain't nobody watching the commercials. So that's one of the features of YouTube TV that you can use, okay? And then you can share with 5 family members, and they can have their own that you can't see what they're DVRing. It's not like cluttering yours up, and there is no limit to the DVR amount on there. So you could literally just save, I mean, what is like 100 gigs or essentially a full Netflix. Like you can create your own Netflix of all the shows you ever want to watch or do watch, movies, sports, all of it. You can do it. And yes, you can watch live events. And you notice one of the things with YouTube is whenever you go to YouTube, their algorithm pushes stuff that you like in front of your face, even if you're not subscribed to it. YouTube TV does the same thing. So if I go in and watch a bunch of like old war movies, then guess what it's going to do? It's going to tailor my experience when I first sign on to, accommodate what they think I like, which might be war movies. And here's the thing too, they pull it across all of your, like if you go to regular YouTube and watch a bunch of stuff, they'll start pushing stuff on the YouTube TV app that is related to what you watched there because they know that you like it. So it's like they're learning you and trying to adapt your experience around what they know you like based on watch time, likes, comments, engagement, all of it. So it's great because it's doing all the work for you and finding stuff that you like. Some people are like, I don't want anybody to know about myself. That's for me to know, for them to find out. That's fine. And don't ever get on the internet because guess what? You're getting tracked everywhere you go. So I'm kidding. Okay. So if you don't have these 2 apps, you need to download them right now on your phone. First one is YouTube, which I've got circled and clipped on there. And then the other one is YouTube Music. Even if you don't sign up for premium, you can still use YouTube Music, and it's going to tailor your experience around what you actually watch and like on YouTube. So it's still going to tailor it around you and your personal, likes and dislikes. So use it. It's almost like Pandora. Like you don't get all the features you get if you're on premium, but it's still a great app to have for music. Okay, cool. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty. Here we go. We are in the talks about YouTube. And by the way, don't forget to like, subscribe. So if you haven't, tell me this in the comments. What is your favorite YouTube channel, educational or not, that you watch? Tell me right now in the comments. I'd love to hear. And I'm in the comments with you and I'm talking. Tell me what you like, okay? As you're doing that, I'm going to explain to you essentially the way every website on the internet does content. Either they create good content, not always good, but they create content, or they curate content, which means they gather or they have a place where people can put all the stuff. So for instance, if I'm a news station, I'm creating content all the time. Netflix, you know how they make their own stuff? They curate content from different, TV shows and networks and all these old shows and movies, but also they create their own. They create. So they're a combination of the two. A lot of people will just create their own stuff. If I have a blog and I'm writing, I'm creating for my blog every day or every week or whenever it is. That's me creating for it. Now, curating, that is what YouTube does. Because when was the last time you went to YouTube to watch a video by YouTube? You don't do it. You go to YouTube to watch videos by so-and-so or by your aunt or by your teacher or your students or whatever it is. You're going there because YouTube curates that. Facebook. You don't go to Facebook to watch Mark Zuckerberg's videos. You go to Facebook to watch videos from your cousin or your friend or a person you went to high school with. It curates the content for you. So what I like to break that down as far as YouTube goes is you can have a YouTube channel. It's free. You can start a YouTube channel and you can create content for your channel. Or your channel can be incredible and you never make one video for it. All you do is curate content from across YouTube and bring that in as resources for your students, your teachers, your staff, parents, whoever. You can curate and find good stuff. So you ever heard people like, I can't make that, but I know what looks good. I know, what is a good resource or a valid resource. Cool. You can be very valuable to people across YouTube by just organizing what you know and what you see as a good, valid resource. So there you go. So if you're like, I'm never going to make a YouTube video, that's fine. That's okay. I'm actually going to address what you can do right out front. Okay, so here we go. I want to start with this. Why did I start making YouTube videos? I told you guys I have thousands of YouTube videos out there. I've got a couple channels, well, 3, I guess, including Tarver Gaming. So I've got 3 channels out there. And why did I start making educational YouTube videos? And the reason is because I did it out of necessity to help my students. When I first started teaching, I was teaching high school math, and I had one class period that was at our ALE, our Alternative Learning Education, Alternative Learning Environment. And I would go there and teach. Well, the problem with teaching there, just like one class period a day, is I had students, I had like 20 or so students in there, and I have students that are on all different levels. So I've got some students that are taking Algebra 1, some in Algebra 2, Algebra Connections, Algebra A, Algebra B, Geometry, occasionally a Trig Pre-Cal. You get these students that are all taking these different subjects, and you're supposed to teach those within the same class period. And this is like 2008, I guess. And I'm sitting here thinking, how am I supposed to teach all of these things at the same time? So what I did was I started recording myself teaching geometry, which I was teaching in the regular classroom, and I would record those videos, and then I would take those a chapter at a time, and I would upload them to these iPods that the school had bought. Do you remember the video iPods with the scrolly wheel, like scrolly wheel iPods? You gotta remember. If you remember those, if you had one of those, tell me in the comments, say, yup, I had it. I had one of those. I had a scrolly wheel iPod. Rest in peace. Do they even make those anymore? Let me know that in the comments. If not, we need to go buy one on eBay. It'd be worth money someday. So I would upload a chapter at a time because there wasn't enough room for all the chapters of geometry, and I'd upload them there. And so students in geometry, they would work out of the book, and so I'm teaching to that exact book. So that's good because if I just went and found a video, it's not going to really relate to exactly to the book we're using. So I'd teach out of the book, and the students would watch the video with their headphones in off the little scrolly iPod, and then they would work, and then I would be more of a facilitator. They would ask questions and say, Mr. Tarver, how do I do this? Or I got stuck here, or I didn't do this, explain this to me. And I would help them, whenever they needed it. And then the first half of class, I would teach Algebra 1 in person. In the second half of class, I teach Algebra 2. So it's like I would flip when I would teach. So that way I could teach 3 subjects adequately at one time. Well, here's an example of one of them that I made. I filmed this on my prep period. It's slope intercept formula. I don't know if you guys remember this little chicken nugget. I don't know if you remember it, but do you remember that formula, slope intercept formula? Did anybody know it before you saw it right here? Tell me in the comments if you did or didn't. Don't lie, we're watching. I'm kidding. But here's me teaching slope intercept formula with these awesome iMovie graphics. This video I filmed, I think in the summer. I was like cleaning up my room, and I was just like, you know what? This is an important topic. I tossed it up there, and look at this. It's helped. I say helped. It has been seen by 1.8 million people across the world since 2009. That's when I uploaded it because, I was like, hey, I'll just put these educational videos on YouTube because it's easier. 19,000 people have at least hit the like button. By the way, if you hit the like button on this video, do that because that means that you liked it and it makes me feel good and like I didn't waste my time making this. So that's why I started making them, and I put them on YouTube. I had a YouTube channel where I was trying to be funny and like make these things, and I found out pretty early nobody thinks I'm funny, but they want me to teach them math. So I had that as a separate channel because I didn't want to clutter my original channel. But now my education YouTube channel, Tarver Academy, it has like almost 10,000 more subs than my original one that I cared about, quotation marks. So I did it out of necessity. I didn't do it because I wanted to make money or I wanted to I want to get famous. I want to do rich. I just wanted to help my students. But in the process, I ended up helping students all across the world. And so you can too. Now, if you think, well, no, but how am I going to help people? Not every student's going to want. No, not every student is going to want to have you teach them the subject. However, do you have students in your class that you connect with, that connect with your personality and the way you teach? Guess what? That same percentage of whatever your class is, say it's 10% of your students genuinely connect and you're their favorite teacher in how you teach. 10%. Think of 10% of all the students doing that across the world and how you could help them and connect with them better than their in-classroom teacher or another teacher on YouTube or me. They could connect with you more than they connect with me. So I want to encourage you. You can do this. You can make videos. And also, it's fun because you kind of, and I don't want to say like, go into it knowing that you're probably going to get some rando comments every now and then, especially if a video gets popular. About one out of every, 30 or 40 video comments on my videos, somebody's making fun of me. So literally, all of you guys could make fun of me in the comments based on this video. I've probably heard it 100 times before. So that's true. But and don't be discouraged by that, because it's usually just like my accent. Like they're like, wow, this guy talks like he's from Arkansas. I'm like, well, I am from Arkansas, so that's why I talk like that. Talk the way we're supposed to talk. Everybody else got the accent. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Nope? Okay. So I'm going to talk about curating first. Now, this is for the people that are never going to create a video on YouTube, but they might want to build out resources for their students, staff, or whoever that they want to through their YouTube channel, okay? But this also applies to people that are creating their own videos. So don't check out or scrub to the end if you're wanting to create videos. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I'm not your boss, but don't think this is not for you. These are things that you can do, and also you can teach your students to do, to where they're actually curating and finding content for your class. Another fun thing about making videos is a decade later, you can look at them, like I'm looking at this photo right now, and I'm regretting my hair choices. I don't know what was happening there, what was with, that's called like a faux hawk, like a fake mohawk, where you just kind of like push it together, and I've almost got like a mini mullet. That's terrible. I'm so sorry, guys. Anybody in there rock the faux hawk? Let me know if you did in the comments. What is the most embarrassing hairstyle you ever sported? Flock of seagulls? Y'all know what I'm talking about. So it's fun to go back and watch them later, and you still get comments all the time. So here we go. We're going to start real basic. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because a lot of you have already done this because you're on a YouTube channel right now watching this, so it's pretty evident if you do or don't have a YouTube channel. So let's talk about YouTube. YouTube is located at youtube.com. Fun fact, if you search the letter U, tube.com, it goes to like this welding supply company, and they have sued YouTube multiple times because people misinterpret how to go to YouTube, and they go to their site and it crashes because of all the traffic. You'd think they'd have already sold it by now. Like you could retire off of selling something to YouTube. So here we go. If you're on YouTube, in the upper right-hand corner, that's where you can see if you're signed in or not. If it says sign in, you're not signed in. Now, what do you need to create a YouTube account? All you need is a Gmail account, okay? So if you have a Gmail account, you automatically can just click that sign in. It's gonna ask you which email or Gmail account do you wanna attach it to. You select it. It's probably gonna ask you like to create a name for your stuff. Do not worry, it is not gonna start recording you and putting you on YouTube immediately, okay, I promise. But it will help you go in here so that you can start tailoring your experience around you. And you'll use that email to sign in. Now, a lot of teachers will ask me, should I create a YouTube channel under my school email or my personal email? It's a great question. This is what I always default to. My default is create it under a personal email account, and here's why. Because then you have control of it. So say you don't teach at that school, like 15 years from now, you don't teach at the school, okay? You love the school, it's the greatest school ever. As soon as you leave, about 6 months later, they're probably gonna delete your account, okay? So you won't have access to change, delete, add, do anything to those videos. It's out of your control. But if it's under yours, and it's not breaking any of your school policies or rules, then you will have control of those, and you can keep those videos forever, as long as you want. You might want to delete the whole page, that's fine. It's under your control, and you get to control that, and it's not at the whim of someone else. So I recommend your personal account under your personal email, but again, I'm not you, you do what you want, okay? So you click that to sign in, and that's how you sign in. It's pretty simple. Step number 2, the basics. Subscribing. Find the stuff or people or channels that you like and hit subscribe. Like even earlier when I was like, hey guys, would you please subscribe to my channel? I'd really appreciate it if you hit that red subscribe button under the video. Some of you guys didn't do it because you're like, I don't know if I like anything else that they put. That's fine. Guess what? You can unsubscribe. It's literally 2 clicks to unsubscribe, okay? It's free to subscribe to people, and it's free to unsubscribe, and I won't get notified if you unsubscribe or leave later. All it does is it says like, hey, you did this for me, I'm gonna subscribe, and it makes it easier to find their content later, okay? You're not gonna be inundated with my content just because you hit subscribe, but you might see a video that's related to the one you're watching now pop up in front of your face in the future. And that's the same for any channel. If you like a video that you see, it's better to subscribe and then unsubscribe if you don't like it down the road than not subscribing, and then you can't find it down the road, okay? So there you go. Here's how you subscribe. Right here, this is a screenshot of my channel on YouTube. You would just go in and you click the red subscribe button. That is from the channel. Now, you can also do it from a video. So let's say I go to youtube.com. Here we go. We're going to YouTube. Da-da-da-da. Okay, I don't think I'm subscribed to ESPN, so we'll click on a video. Now, from the video, and again, you can see this on this video that you're watching unless you're watching it through my website, tarveracademy.com. Let's see. Boom. This is how most of y'all's probably looks. Right there. See the bottom right? See that right there? That is where you like. So if you haven't liked this video, do that under here as practice. You can share. This is where you can send it to people. And this red is where you subscribe. Boom. I'm subscribed. And you're like, well, how do you unsubscribe, Tyler? Oh, no, I didn't mean to subscribe. You click it again. It's going to say, are you sure? You say unsubscribe. That's it. It's that easy. So if you see something you like, subscribe to it. Don't be stingy with your subs. That's the truth. Okay, that's just Tyler's advice. All right, I'm not giving away right now. I mean, if you want to do a giveaway, we can. Just like and subscribe. Okay, so I want to kind of break down what you're going to see when you search so you know how to filter between anything you're looking for. So let's say if you want to practice and you're not doing it, like I'm giving you a link to leave what I'm talking about. But if you have your phone out or a tablet or something besides what you're watching this on, go to youtube.com and in the search Tarver Academy. Okay, that's my channel, Tarver Academy. So it's safe. Nothing inappropriate will pop up. Now, from my screen, you can see I'm going to explain a few things that you're going to be able to differentiate between as you search for things. First one at the top, do you see the circle around my face in front of the YouTube Space New York background from the Google Innovator? What's up, Google Innovators? And my Google Innovators say holla. Hey, any Google Innovators in here? If you are, tell me in the description. I'd love to hear it. If not, you should definitely apply. Tell them Tyler sent you, okay? So from that, sorry, I got distracted. So from the circle, if you see a circle, that is a profile of an account, okay? Then they'll see like Tarver Academy, that's the name of my account. And then it tells you their subscriber count, how many videos they have, and then it gives you a short description about them, okay? You can subscribe directly from here. So we've talked about you can subscribe from someone's channel page. You can subscribe directly under any video to the channel that made the video, or you can subscribe from here on the search, okay? Now, look underneath it, those two rectangles underneath it. Those are what you call videos, okay? What you actually see, like as the picture, you know, says Google Professional Development, and then it's got like another one underneath it. It's got me in that purple long sleeve shirt with the border. Those are either like a still frame from the video, or I've uploaded a graphic to represent what it is. So like that first one says Google Professional Development. That's a graphic I made in Canva and uploaded. That is called the thumbnail. Okay, so you're looking at it. That's supposed to attract people to your video. There you go. That's it. That's a video. It's a rectangle. Now, the third rectangle underneath my circle, that right there, do you see the difference in that video? It's a thumbnail, but then also like on the right side of it, the right 40 to 45% of it, it's like this black bar with a number that says 96. That is what's called a playlist. A playlist is essentially a grouping of videos based on whatever that YouTuber wanted to group them on. So we're going to talk about playlists here in a second, but that's how you differentiate what a playlist is versus a single video versus a channel, okay? And you can actually, in the search, when you click that little search, little magnifying glass, you can narrow it down. You see above my face on the circle, it says filter. That's where you can click and you can only search, I want to find some math YouTubers. You could literally click filter, say channels is all you want to go for, and search just for YouTube math channels, okay? So it's pretty self-explanatory, so I don't want to take up your time showing you how to do it. Here's a tweet that I thought was funny. It says, my friend's toddler babbled, don't forget to subscribe, as he was put to bed. Kid watches so much YouTube, he thought it means goodbye. And people laugh and they think it's funny. I think it's funny. You might not be laughing. You might be laughing hysterically, okay? Cool. We have good similar senses of humor. But I think this is funny because it's true. This becomes part of culture with a certain group of students or a group of young people or a certain generation. It's the same way with like the older generation. Facebook is becoming a community and a culture because that's where they all are. TikTok is now becoming a culture and community. They all kind of take on their own perspectives. Like and subscribe. You heard me say it at the beginning. I literally am wearing a shirt that says, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's something that they say because it helps the YouTubers out. So YouTubers say it and it just becomes common nomenclature. So there you go. Am I using nomenclature correct there? Tell me in the comments. Say, Tyler, you're not very smart. You said it wrong. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. I've heard it before. Like I said, YouTube comments. All right, the next one. This is what, if you have students that start making YouTube channels, as soon as they upload a video, this is the first thing they will ask about. Monetization, which means making money off your videos. So the ads on the side, before you click play on a video, it pops up the ad at the beginning and it's like, hey, you know, try out this tutor person or whatever it is, tutoring. I get a lot of tutoring ads on mine because they're math videos, or some of them are. And so whenever they pop up, those ads, because you're viewing them, that makes the creator money. If it is, it makes the creator money. If you click on it, if you click on that ad, it actually makes them a lot more money. So the second most I ever made in a month on YouTube was because apparently on one of my videos, there was an ad on there for a tutoring service, and the guy kind of looked like me because I just look like a standard random dude. And he looked like me, so they thought it was me giving the tutoring, and so a bunch of them clicked on it. It made me more money that month just because they clicked on it. But just getting views of those ads, the reps of that brand getting in front of their consumers, that allows them to make money. So, or allows the creator to make money. If you want to know the percentage, it's usually around 300 views gets you a penny. So the next time my kids are like, when can I start buying stuff? I make this, these gaming videos. I was like, well, we got to get a lot of views before you do that, bro. You're not even close. And so whenever they, like your kids or your students, want to start making money off of it, they can't even monetize their videos from a new channel until they get like 4,000 watch hours in a month, or 4,000 total watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. So it takes a while now to get it, and people are like, oh, why can't I monetize right away? Because you could for a while. There for a few years until there was a video uploaded that was inappropriate that they were like, okay, we need to get stricter on our guidelines, and they cut back on it. Thanks, Logan Paul. And that's why they created the rule of 1,000 subs. And don't be discouraged, because based on the regulations, you're making like $1.30 up until that point. That's what you're missing out on until you get the watches. So don't be discouraged. Just keep plugging away. Here's what this is what I tell people that want to create a YouTube channel. If you're doing it for the money, you're going to burn out. You are going to burn out. I've been on YouTube for 13 years now. I've been on it since 2007 making videos, and I still make videos every week on YouTube. If I was doing it to make money, I would have gotten frustrated, quit, and put my time somewhere else. I'm doing it because I want to help teachers and students learn and grow. I want to help people get better. I want to help people learn. That's what I'm passionate about. That's why I do it. I don't do it for, this entire training right here, this is something that schools used to pay me to come do, or conferences paid me to come do. I'm putting it out for free because I know in these times, people need these resources. And so that matters more to me than, I'm going to hold out and not present it because of this. People want me to come, they'll ask me, but I want to do this because I want to help people learn, grow, make their classroom better, make themselves better. So find out what you're passionate about, what you would do if you never made $1 on it, and lean into that. That's my best advice. This also helps if you know what you're talking about. So number 4, notifications. You'll hear sometimes on YouTube videos, people are like, subscribe, and then make sure you turn on the notifications, and then go on your phone and turn on the settings for notifications to be hit, because it's like this whole process now. I said earlier, just because you're subscribed to somebody doesn't mean you're going to see all their videos. That's why they ask you to turn on notifications, because if you turn on notifications, every time that YouTuber uploads a video, you'll be notified, and it'll give you a push notification that you can ignore or not ignore, and you can click that and then go watch it. And it's a better way for them to see it, and that's why YouTubers want you to, because they want you to see the content, because they're putting a lot of time, effort, and energy into it, and they want people to see it, not randomly based on an algorithm. A few years ago, I had some videos, some math videos that were getting, they were getting 10 to 15,000 views a month, and it was helping a lot of people, and I was making a little bit of money for them. And they did that for 3 or 4 or 5 years, and they were doing great. Had like 200,000 or 300,000 views on it. And then in 2016, YouTube changed their algorithm, and bam, now they get no views. They don't get in the searches. They're just not one of the top 2 or 3 searches. So I don't make any money off of them. I don't get anybody to see them. That's when I realized I could upload to try to hit some algorithm, or I can just make content that is going to provide people value, and you'll see some of that stuff that I've been doing here. And it's like, I don't care what the views get when I first upload, because I've been doing it for that. I'm doing it to help teachers and students down the road, giving them teachers resources they can use every day for 180 days. That's what I want to do. So notifications are great because it helps people get those immediate views, and you're not relying on the algorithm to just randomly put your stuff in front of people. So on the left, that's an example of my page. On the right, there's a little bell. After you subscribe, a little bell pops up. That's where you can control your notifications. When you click on it, and I've zoomed in on it right there, you can choose, it starts off with personalized. That means YouTube chooses when they push your videos in front of people. You can say none, which means I never want to be notified when this person uploads a video, or all. That means that they're going to make sure that you know through either a push notification or an email or something. They'll choose whatever route they think works best for you. You'll know when that person uploads a video. So if something matters to you, if a channel, you like it, or you like the content, or you want to know when they make more stuff, turn on those notifications. I'm not saying do it for me unless I fall into the categories of what you just said. What up? Welcome back. Hey, Tyler here. How are you doing? How you feeling? In the chat, let's do emoji check. And how are you feeling right now? Have you learned? Oh, no. To this point, what is something that you are going to try in your classroom or implement that you might not have wanted to, an hour or two ago? What is something you're wanting to implement in your classroom? Put that in the chat right now. I'd love to see it. I know the other people in the chat would love to see it. I know there'd be some great input. So throw that in the chat and then you can also copy paste and put in your notes, just so you don't forget. Make sure everything you're doing, you're keeping notes of. Keep links to it, all of it, because I want you guys to be able to access and actually make your classroom better. I've sat through enough PDs in my life, professional development in my life, that I don't remember one thing from. I pray that you walk through this. I am hoping that you get something out of this training that you can take and use, once a day, once a week, once a year, once a decade, something that you use and implement, whether it's a mindset or a skill set or just any type of framework to build your classroom and make things better. Okay? Speaking of making things better, making ourselves better, I do want to give you, some thoughts on something that I offer, a community that we have at Tarver Academy that I think could add you a ton of value. It could help you get better all year. Because right now we're getting better with PD, with professional development. Hopefully you're getting better right now. This summer you're gonna hopefully glean some information, some knowledge, some experience, and you're gonna get a little bit better. I want us to get better all year. I want us to get better all throughout the year. And here's the thing with teachers. We do not have time to go sit through a 6-hour professional development once a week. So what I did was I created a community called Tarver Academy. And it was based on teachers telling me they wanted resources. They wanted a continuation of these trainings, of templates, of resources. They wanted to be handed to them, because if you go out and search for it, you're gonna find random stuff. They wanted stuff that could be applied to their classroom, that they can sit there, bite-sized professional development for busy teachers. That's Tarver Academy on a roll. And I would love for you to join if you want to. If you don't have to, don't pay for it. It's not very expensive at all, but I don't want you to have to pay for it. I would rather you use your district's professional development money. So if you want, have them go in, order that for you. What happens if you sign up for the Tarver Academy on a roll? What it's gonna do is it's gonna add you value. Do you wanna get better as a teacher every week, but not have to go out and search for it? How about if we just hand it to you in an email? In the email, every week, you're gonna get either a template, a resource, you're gonna get a short PD video, professional development, a training to show you how to do something you might not know how to do, or reinforce something you're maybe already trying. You're gonna get something that makes you better every week, plus some quick tips, links to some other things, and also you can ask me questions. I have a mailbag where you get to ask questions, and that's the list I'm gonna pick from first. I wanna help you guys. If I don't know how to do it, I'll do the research for you. I'll build, you're like, oh, I really wish I had a digital interactive notebook. Guess what I'll do? I'll go in and I'll build digital interactive notebooks, and I'll give you the template. You don't have to pay teachers, pay teachers. You don't have to go in and throw the money at anything. I wanna just hand it to you, and I wanna do trainings for you to help you. So if you wanna join that community, I think it's super helpful, and it's essentially where I become the tech facilitator for you. It's Netflix for teacher resources, and I would love for you to join and jump on that. So if you want, go there. It's tarveracademy.com/on-a-roll, and you can sign up for that. And I think it's just going to be a huge. It's going to be a huge help to teachers throughout the year who have a lot going on and not a lot of time, extra time to go out and do it. It's like as teachers, they always give you more stuff to do, but they don't give you like, oh, here's like an extra 3 hours a day to go out and do whatever it is you're gonna do. So if you wanna sign up for that, you can. I hope you've used this time also to use the restroom. So if you're just getting back using the restroom, guess what? We've just been talking about Tarver Academy on a roll. No big deal. But I'm gonna give you guys time to go do that and get a snack if you need it. Whatever you need to do, we're about to kick back into, we're about to jump back in it. We're gonna fall back into the gap, fall into the gap. Man, do y'all remember that? That was a good campaign. That was memorable. It was, wasn't it? Memorable? Yeah, sure. Okay, so we're about to get started. We'll get started here very soon, and we're gonna jump back in, we're gonna keep learning. All right, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. We're still doing this. In the chat, here we go. In the chat, I want you to tell me the name. Okay, ooh, don't say that. I was gonna say, tell me the name of, you know what? You can do that. Tell me the name of a teacher who made an impact on you and what they did. Why did they have an impact on you? In the chat, what name of a teacher or an educator that had an impact on you and what they did to have an impact. It was either the way they treated you, the way they ran their class, or the way they inspired you, or just the way they had structure maybe. They were reliable, they were consistent. I would love to hear in the chat, name of a teacher that motivated you as a student or as another teacher and what they did. So let's throw that in the chat and we're about to get started. We're gonna jump back into it. We're about to get started. We're gonna jump back into it like a pogo stick. See that? See what I did there? Nope? Okay, all right, let's get going. So, playlists. Oh look, Michael Jordan. He showed up, promoted my channel. So nice of him. A lot of people don't know that he looks like that, but he does. Hashtag The Last Dance. Okay, so we're talking playlists. This is helpful for anybody, okay? Anytime you see like a floating head on this presentation, that is a link. If it's a floating head or a 90s cartoon, that is a link to something. So number one on playlists, they are so you can organize similar or related materials. That, if you click on Drake's laughing face, what that is, it takes you to a tutorial that I made on how to create a playlist, okay? So it's just me walking you through how to do that, which we don't have to watch all of that, so I'm gonna bounce away from it. Okay. So that's what you want to do. You want to organize similar playlists. Next, number two, you want to gather this information. You want to gather these videos into playlists from multiple channels. So if I make a playlist, it doesn't just have to be my videos. If I'm making a playlist on solving linear inequalities, I can put 2 of my videos and then 3 videos from Yay Math. And I can have those in there in one random video from Khan Academy, which I would never do because I like Yay Math and myself. Just kidding. Good job, Khan. You're not watching. Okay, so you can put videos from any channel into a playlist. So don't think that you're restricted to just that one channel for a playlist. Number 3, you can put a video into multiple playlists. So for instance, my slope-intercept formula video, I have that in like 7 different playlists. It's in my slope playlist. It's in my intro to geometry playlist. It's in my ACT prep, my, in New York Regents prep. Like, it's in multiple playlists because it applies to all of those things. So if you have a video that's good, put it wherever it could apply. Next, let the students build the playlists. I'm gonna let that sit for a second. You can have students find the information they actually connect with instead of you trying to guess, like, oh, I think they'll like this video. You can have the students create it and put it in there. Oh goodness, I didn't link to it. I'll drop the link in the chat to this. I just made a video on this, on how to do this, because I was looking through and I was gonna link to it, and I noticed, I was like, hey, this is not like, I don't have a video on this. But what this means is you can create a playlist, say it's called The American Revolution. You can create the playlist, and then your assignment for your class can be, hey, everybody, you can drop the link in your Google Classroom, and your assignment can be, everybody find a video that is 5 minutes or less. I just like my own video. 5 minutes or less on the American Revolution, and put it into this playlist. So the students are building out, there we go, now it's linked in there. The students are building out the playlist themselves. And you're just gonna say, make sure it's appropriate, make sure that it applies to what we're talking about, put it in there, go. And then the students, that's their assignment. They're watching videos, finding them, all this, they watch that, and then like you can have them summarize the video. So you don't have to watch them, it's a resource for everybody, but then you have your students present in class and they're recapping the video in like 30 seconds or less. Like, that would be great. That's a great lesson. You should do that. So let the students build them. Examples. This needs to go. Bye. Okay, example. There's me teaching people about Google. That was actually part of my Google Trainer exam. Any Google Trainers in here? Tell me in the comments if you're a Google Trainer. If not, pass the level 1 exam, then pass the level 2 exam, then apply to be a trainer. Tell them Tyler sent you. Okay, so examples. Examples on how to use YouTube videos. You can use YouTube videos directly in a Google form. Who owns Google Forms? Google does. Who owns YouTube? Google does. Guess what? Google wants their stuff to work great across every Google platform. They want it to be incredible for everybody. So here it is. Here's an editing, like making I'm making a Google form. I can actually put the video I want to teach them on in there. So I click the plus sign. Oh, I don't want to add a question. I'm sorry. You want to go to add video. This little one looks like a video. Duh. Did I say duh? Wow, 1997. Okay, from here, you don't have to go to YouTube and find the link. You can, and I can paste the URL, or I could just search, slope intercept. And I can search the videos, search all of YouTube directly from Google Forms. And so I can select my video. Hey, what's up? Boom. I've got the video in there. I never had to leave. I never had to go anywhere else. I can incorporate it into my lesson directly from Google Forms. Okay, next, where else can teachers use it? I think I've got a link down there at the bottom left. It's on how to insert a YouTube video in Forms. So it's actually a tutorial on what I just showed you how to do. Also, if you were with me on my last PD about collaborating and communicating with Google, which I have a link to in the description if you haven't seen it, it's 45 minutes. It's a PD for you. This is a resource I think that teachers are underutilizing, and I, as a teacher and former teacher and administrator, I thought, what would be a resource, a free resource that could help teachers in their classrooms? Now, it still applies if you're in a virtual classroom, but it also applies if you're in a physical classroom, like actually in a setting. And so, what I thought is, as a teacher, I had to do bell ringers every day. And if you're not familiar with bell ringers, that's something like a problem you put on the board or you post in your classroom that students work on the first 2 to 5 minutes of every class that you have them. And the idea is that it keeps them occupied where they're learning something without you having to teach it, because you, at the first of class, you have to take roll. You got to pass out assignments to people that missed class the day before. You've got administrative stuff you have to do at the beginning of class. This lets them learn in the process. Now, the problem is, if you're a good teacher and you just have the problem on the board and the students, they don't know how to work it, a student or two might ask you, hey, I don't understand, how do I work this? And you're a good teacher and you'll walk over and help them. You're not doing the administrative stuff. So what I thought is, what if I take the entire process of presenting, like thinking of the problem, of delivering the problem, of the students working it, and of showing them how to work it, like example, all in one video. So I did this with math. I started creating, I call them problem of the day or bell ringers or whatever, and I started putting them in here. So if you're a math teacher of pretty much 7th grade and up, you could have a video every day for every day of school, and you could just post it at 8 in the morning and send it out to all your classes at the same time, which there's a feature on. I've got a tutorial on that. You can send it out to all your classes at the same time, and then they answer it in the comments. They create a discussion on it. Now, you're thinking, well, I'm not a math teacher. That doesn't help me. I thought of that. I thought, this is helpful for math teachers to have that problem every day, but what about everybody else? And so I thought, I could make a whole, 180 videos for math, 180 for English, 180 for science. I was like, I'm not great at science. I'm okay, I'm a medium, but I'm not I don't want to make 180 videos on it. So if you are a science teacher, make some, send me the link, I'll start promoting you in here. I thought, what's something I could do that could help students learn and grow and could apply to almost every subject, and start a discussion about something that it's leading them somewhere good, positive, so they can't go too random, but also they're having to think and comment and respond. And I love quotes. Does anybody here love quotes? If you love quotes, how about this? If you love quotes, put your favorite quote in the comments. I would love to hear it, and I might even make a quote of the day video on it. I started making what I called Rock the Quote. You get it? Rock the vote. Rock the Quote. It was a quote of the day bell ringer every day. They're anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes. Try to keep them short, but sometimes, it's a good quote. You got to talk about it. And so I made 180 of these. I put them in a playlist. And so literally once a week, you could sit down for 10 minutes and you could assign every morning at 8 a.m. to schedule one of these videos, a different quote of the day video, and you could just copy paste the same instructions every day. And I even put an example instructions in here, so you could just copy paste from here. It says, hello class, watch today's video for quote of the day, and in the comments of this post, give your thoughts on the quote and how it applies to you. So not only are you having students think about it, they're thinking, how can I apply this to where I am? And they're commenting in there. You're creating discussion. The other students are going to see it. You're going to get to know your students better. They're going to get to know each other better. You're building a community working towards something. Do you agree or disagree with Tyler? Because I say that in the video. I was like, tell me if you agree or disagree. Like, I'm trying to guide them without you having to do all of the work. I want to do the work for you. And then I said, make sure to reply at least one classmate. Creating discussion. Keep it kind in the comments, reminding them to be kind. So you can literally copy paste those same instructions every day, and then you just go down the line and grab the link to all those videos and toss them in. And I've got extras, so you could go in and grab some that, if you're like, I don't like, Wayne Gretzky. So you can skip Wayne Gretzky and go to somebody else. So that's the idea. If it has you value, please use it. The links are in here. It's tarveracademy.com/quote. If you want to just know, I've got like a list of all the quotes. So feel free to use that. Whatever way helps you in the classroom. But that's the idea. If you don't use my quote of the day or my math problem of the day, find a channel that has a plethora of videos that are about 5 minutes or less and use those as bell ringers, okay? In the comments, if you know of this, please let me know. If you know a channel that has this, let me know. I have not found one, but I want to add those to my list so I can provide teachers with value. Also, you can teach via your device. You can send the videos to your classes directly from your device. An app that's really good that I've used for a bunch of my videos a few years ago was Explain Everything. I would have students, I was like, hey, if you have a question, take a picture of your question about math, tweet it at me on Twitter, and then I'll just take that, import it into Explain Everything, and I'll work the problem. Notability is also really good for this. If you've ever used Notability, I should have put that on here. Notability is a great app as well. If you have an iPad or an iPhone, you can just do screen record. That's a feature on it. You just go up here, you swipe down from up here, and then do you see the little dot with the circle on it? Right there, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, goodness. It's right there, the screen record, okay? So you can actually record your voice and what you're doing on your screen and not have to show yourself. So you can actually do the videos in your PJs and just project it out. So that's another option for teachers. You can also create via your laptop or your desktop. If you have a Mac, just use QuickTime. That's what I'm literally using to record the presentation. I'm recording that through QuickTime. So right now it's almost 4 gigs worth of a screen recording. That's not including the gigs off of this. Chromebook, you can use Screencastify. That's a great app. It records your screen and your voice. And then Windows is called Screen Recorder. I've never used Screen Recorder, so I'm not going to vouch for it, but I Googled it, and that's what they said is good. So also, when I was a principal of a school, I would do my announcements through video as well. If you're a teacher or an administrator, you can deliver announcements to your students or your staff through this, and it's a way for them to connect with you. You can make inside jokes. People love inside jokes. It's one of the big things with people who find community in YouTubers is that they have these inside jokes, these nicknames. Hey, they like nicknames for their fans. That's what they call them. Like, hey, out there, you Jake Paulers or you David Dobrikers. I don't know what he calls them, but they have nicknames for their people. So that's a good feature, and you can connect with people that you might not get to see face-to-face if you're not doing face-to-face classes, or students and parents that you don't get to meet with every day. This is what I did, and it was a great way to connect with all of my students, and I would also bring students in to be in the videos with me, and so that's an example. Like, we can watch. See? Oh, is it going to play? No, it's not going to play? Cool. Good talk. Nope. Excellent. Well, if you click on that link, if you have the presentation, that is a link to an example video of one that I made. Okay, so this is a creepy looking photo, but it was the thumbnail for a video that explains the point I'm about to tell you. Let's talk about YouTube. Shorter videos are for TikTok, like a minute or less, TikTok, okay? If you want something that is anywhere from 30 seconds to 10 minutes, you probably might watch it on Instagram. YouTube is not only for 2-minute or less videos. YouTube has now evolved into a long-form content location, like Netflix. YouTube is like Netflix. You'll go on Netflix and watch a full season. People go to YouTube and watch 8 hours worth of a vlogger that they just found that they like. It is a resource of any length of video. And the reason I have this, that guy on the left, his name's Shane Dawson. The guy on the right, his name is Jake Paul. Shane Dawson did essentially a docu-series where he is delving into the mind of Jake Paul. And he's getting to know him as a person and interviewing his friends and researching him. And this video right here, This video was an hour and 45 minutes long. It was the last video in an 8-video series, I think. And it was an hour and 45 minutes long. In the first 3 hours that video was on YouTube, it had over 10 million views. 10 million views in 3 hours for an hour and 45 minute YouTube video. Okay, whenever I'm consulting people or talking to them about videos, they ask, how long should my YouTube video be? Short or long? I said, it should be as long as you have their attention. It should be as long as it is engaging. Don't shorten it just to shorten it, and don't make it longer just to make it longer. Talk as long as you want to, as long as you feel like you're providing value or entertainment, and that's when you stop. That's what you do with the YouTube video. And the example I always use, and I think I got this from Gary Vee, it's a great example. In the comments, tell me this. If they came out with a 5-hour Star Wars movie, tell me in the comments if you would watch it. Okay? Say, I would watch a 5-hour Star Wars movie. If they came out with a 30-second Star Wars movie, full movie in 30 seconds, if you would clip off of it before the end because you don't care about it, tell me in the comments. Tell me if you're on team 5 hours or team 30 seconds. The point is, there are people that love Star Wars and would watch 5 hours worth of it. They cannot get enough. Then there are people who do not care about it at all, and they will go to another video within 30 seconds if they click on it because they don't care. People will watch things as long as they want to. I don't have this in the notes, but I want to tell you guys this because, well, that's what I want to do. I want to provide you value and I want to teach you stuff. So I'm doing my dissertation right now, and I'm doing it on what makes people watch educational videos. What retains them? Is it graphics? Is it someone they know? Is it what qualities does a video have that keeps the attention of learners? Okay? In every research study I can find that I've been looking at, there are by far 2 reasons people will stop watching a YouTube video. Either A, they're confused. They don't understand what's going on. I gave you this whole presentation when we started this. I gave you the link to it. At any point, you could look through this presentation and you could see if any of this applies to you. They want to know what's going on, so they don't be confused. And number 2, they want to see how it applies to them. Does this apply to me? When they click on a video, they want to know what's going on. I don't want to be confused. And 2, how does this apply to me? Those are the top 2 reasons people watch a YouTube video. If you're confusing people or they don't see how it matters to them, they're not going to watch it. That is proven by research. So that one's for fun. Okay, so let's talk about what's popular right now. Number 1, vlogs. You know what blogs are? Blogs where people use written text on the internet to tell stories or talk about things. Vlog is a video blog. Vlog, see what I did there? That is where people are talking about are showing their day or things that are going on in their life, and they're documenting it through video. Popular vloggers, they collaborate with each other, they have their own channels, they have nicknames for the people. It's a whole community around that person in their life. And you think, well, who cares about somebody from California or New York or the Midwest or whatever? Who cares about what some random person is doing every day? That sounds super boring. Do you care about your friends? Do you care about your spouse? Do you care about the people around you? Yes, because they matter to you, because they're connected to you. They resonate with you somehow. You connect with them. You know their story, so it matters. If you just go and click on a random vlog of somebody, you're not going to care. It might entertain you. You might learn something, but you're not really going to care about them. But just think if you watched a video of someone for 15 minutes a day, every single day for a year, you're going to feel like that person is one of your best friends because you're getting to know them. You know their personality. You know the things they've done. You know their family. It's why young people and even older people feel so connected to people across the internet because they're seeing their life. Think of this. When was the last time somebody came to you and they act like they knew you? You had no idea who they were, but they're naming off like your kids or your dog's name or whatever you've been doing because you put it on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. People connect with people across platforms all the time because there are people on the other end. People connect with people, okay? Keep that in mind. Next, tutorials. People learn on the internet. There are 2 reasons people will watch something. And this is Netflix, this is TV, this is YouTube, anything. There's 2 reasons they'll watch it. Either because it educates them, they're learning something, or it entertains them. Education or entertainment. The best do both, okay? So people will watch tutorials. YouTube is an amazing database to learn. 3, lists and reviews. People are reviewing TV shows, movies, books, everything. I have one, I call it Tarver Book Club. I review books, link in the bio if you want to see any of those videos. It's where you review stuff, you talk about your opinion, your thoughts. When you really care about something, you want to talk to people about it. You want to listen to people about it. This is not new. Like, this is happening. People commentate on stuff forever. You know, man in the arena. Number 4, gaming. So many people think this is such a silly thing for people to watch. It is a huge industry, and the reason that people like Steph Curry and Drake and LeBron James are investing money into these gaming teams and these gaming platforms is because it is a huge industry where people will literally watch other people play video games, either because they're good, so they're learning how to play, or they're entertaining. Educate, entertain. So gaming is an area that YouTube has literally broken off almost and made its own YouTube, like this whole sector of YouTube, because gaming is so popular. Number 5, people will watch YouTube for the news. Think of this. Think of a TV channel, okay? Think of a TV channel that you know leans one way, left or right, okay? The people that watch that channel, they have the same point of view as that channel because that channel says things that reinforce what they think. It reinforces something they care about, a core value, their personality, something that they resonate with, so they watch it, and that becomes more and more where they get their news and their information. Now, another news station can take the same story and they twist it or turn it to where it applies to the other side, and people that watch that watch it for a reason. And there's some that are in the middle that are more like, this is fact, this is what we know, bam, bam, bam. But people watch stuff because it reinforces their point of view or their worldview. With YouTube, you can get even more narrow down niches and lanes for getting your news. You can be like, oh, I think that, all trees are, dragon remains that have grown up from the ground. And you could probably find a YouTube channel that supports that. It's like, well, if you look at this manuscript from this thing, it shows that dinosaurs became trees. Like, you can find things that support your point of view. And all we're doing is we're widening the scope of where you can get information. And so that happens a lot on YouTube. And the last one I have listed on here is unboxing videos. They are what they are, like it's where you open something or you show something. My daughter used to love these, and it was before she was in kindergarten. She would watch these like unboxing of these toy videos. They were like, oh, Elsa's opening up, or we're opening up, and it just shows her hands. They're like, here we are opening up this box, and look at this Elsa doll from Frozen. Look how great it is. Its arms move like this. I was so afraid when my daughter went to kindergarten, she was going to be a little weirdo, and she was going to be like, push out her pencil box. She goes, watch as Ezra opens up her pencil box. Look at her number 2 Ticonderoga, and like start describing what she's doing, like an unboxing video. She didn't. She's good. I don't think she did. I mean, she has a couple friends, so hopefully we're good to go. Just kidding. She's great. So that's curation. That is a grand scope of what you can get from the platform of YouTube. Now, I want to talk to you about creation. I want to talk to you about creating. I'm going to give you some tips for creating for YouTube. And if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm never going to make a video and put it up, you might not, but your students might. So check out. These are some resources for letting your students create these videos, or yourself. Number 1, devices and programs. Depending on what device you have, there are different programs to edit on, to film on, all of it. If you have a Mac, iMovie comes standard. It's free. It's a great resource. Now, if you've got a Mac and you want to upgrade your video and do it off of like a better system, Final Cut Pro I think is like $300, and you can get that. It's what I use Final Cut Pro. It's what this was all edited on. Windows. If you want to pay money for a good program, you can use Adobe Premiere. Pretty much every movie you see in theaters was edited on Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere. Last one, Chromebooks. If your school has Chromebooks, you can do that on WeVideo or YouTube. Now you're thinking, what if we have iPads or iPhones, something like that, an Apple device that is not a MacBook or a laptop? You can use iMovie on there as well. It's free. You can edit through iMovie, or you can use Clips. Clips is also a great option, and it's super easy to use. The only thing is there's just a little bit less features than you could get with iMovie, a little less control. Next, what should you shoot with? Okay, here are some important things to keep in mind as you shoot with whatever device you're shooting with. Number 1, you want decent quality. Quality is great if you got it, but don't ever not create something because your quality isn't what you want. Number 2, you need forward-facing audio. Right now, I have a mic attached to my camera. It is facing me because I'm the one speaking. It's a little echoey, not bad, but it's a little echoey because I'm in my office and we didn't plan for that. Number 3, you need a tripod. It's something to prop your camera or your phone on. That just helps because then you can choose your placement. I'm on a tripod right now. You want it to be easy to export. So if you're putting it on a card and you don't have something to adapt that to your laptop, then you're not gonna make the video. Do it in whatever, shoot it on whatever you need to get that whatever, that film to where it needs to be long term. If you click on cat dog up here in the corner, it goes to a part of a video from Casey Neistat. What he essentially says is, what you're shooting with is fine, but don't let I can't shoot this unless I have a good device or unless I have this or this or this. No. You know what? I'm gonna skip. It doesn't matter. You know what matters? Is that you're actually making it. And the best device that you have on you right now is your phone. If you don't have a phone, then ignore what I just said. But if you have a phone, that right there is a great tool to shoot, edit, and upload your entire video. So do not be discouraged. Do not wait until you get a $1,000 camera or a $5,000 camera. These cameras on these phones are awesome. Just have decent lighting. And I actually have a video, I've linked it later in this presentation, on tips to shoot with your iPhone. So we'll look at that in a second. Now, if you want my actual setup, say you have a budget or you've got some money or you really want to lean in to YouTube, which again, I think you should. Everybody's got a personality that people would connect with, students can connect with beyond your normal classroom. I've linked to my entire setup, the camera you're watching this on right now, the mic I'm using, the tripod I've got it on, and the lighting, the ring light that I've got around it. There, you can see it. Look, I'll show you. Boom, look at that. Oh goodness, can y'all see that? That's not working. That's showing me, isn't it? I'm sorry. There you go. That's my ring light. That's my camera setup. It's hard to see, but that's what I'm using. That's linked there. And that's, I use that camera as like a vlog style when I was in DC, and I made a bunch of DC fun fact videos, which you can use for your class. It's free. I've got a link in there to those. So that's 5 bell ringers right there if you've got a history class. Find videos that you can use. If you watch this video right here, I don't know, maybe when I'm editing this, I'll clip it in. If not, click that link. You can watch that video of me giving you tips on how to shoot with an iPhone. What's up guys, Tyler here. I'm so excited you're joining me today on Tarver Academy YouTube channel. We are learning best practices, tips, tricks for shooting iPhone video. Hey, this camera's better. I'm gonna use it. So what I wanna do today is I wanna tell you some really quick tips for shooting the best iPhone video. Hey sweetheart. Sorry, my wife was playing the drums on dishes. Great tune, but also not great for video. So that's number 1, cut out external noise, am I right guys? So there are 2 main components to shooting video on your phone. And the first main one is the video. Obviously the clarity of the picture. Right now, this is my camera setup. This is phone setup. This is me on my phone. This is me on a camera. This is an iPhone 11. This is my wife's phone. I have a 10. It's a little fuzzy on the selfie mode, so I decided to use this one. It's a little bit more clear. One thing you want to do is you want to hold the phone eye level, like this. See this? About eye level with it, with the camera, with the phone, holding it up right here. If you hold it low, it looks like your dad on a Zoom call. Hey guys, I'm your dad. How's it going, everybody? It's like your dad just turned on FaceTime and he doesn't know how it works. He's like, excuse me, hey, how's it going? This right here looks like you're taking a selfie in the bathroom. Hey, what's up guys? Thank you for coming to my Snapchat and my TikTok, Instagram. What you wanna do is you wanna hold it eye level. So that's if you're holding it. But if you want to stack it, like you're gonna talk for a long time, you don't wanna put your arm up here, you need to use your hands for something else. I will stack some books, because most of us don't have tripods. I'll stack some books on my desk, prop my phone up in front of the books. Still trying to keep it eye level. I don't wanna keep it to where it's on the table, because that's just a weird angle.
Hey guys, welcome to class today, or welcome to my vlog.
You wanna prop it up where it's almost eye level if you can. I think this is a lot better angle. But what do I know? I'm just a math YouTube teacher. Solving systems by substitution. Next tip, make sure, and this seems silly, but this is legit. Make sure you hit record on your phone. And usually I see it about 1 or 2 seconds in before I start talking. You don't just want to hit record and go. Sometimes it doesn't go through. Sometimes you don't actually click record. So make sure you hit record, watch it start counting up 1 or 2 seconds, and then start talking. The next one is look at the camera, okay? So whenever we're on here, this is me looking at the camera. This is me looking at myself. Hey guys, thank y'all for coming to today's class. This is me talking on Tarver Academy YouTube channel. This is me actually looking at the camera. It looks like I'm talking to you, correct? Because I'm staring straight down the barrel of the camera lens. If you're not, if you're looking off to the side a little bit, it looks like you're not talking to them.
Meet my eyeline, Jim.
See this? You want to look straight at the camera. The tendency, again, is to look at yourself, but you don't want to do that. Make sure you're framed up, turn. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Tarver Academy, like, subscribe. And the next one, and this is one that people, this is honestly most important for it not being grainy, is you want decent lighting. Here's a window. You see that window? You do not want to film with the window at your back. See that? It makes me dark. Watch my face as I turn around. See that? See how much more clear it gets? I'm allowing this light to come in and reflect on my face, and that's what the camera is getting. So don't have the window to your back, have it here. Also, if you're outside, get in the shade. Don't get in direct sunlight. It looks like you're being beamed up to the spaceship. That's number one, is video. Video is important for just being clean, but the most important thing for a video is audio. If people cannot hear you and they can't understand what you're saying, they're gonna check out. So we'll watch a video if it looked like it was filmed on a potato, as long as we care what people are saying. Now, I'm holding this too low. That's not even my own tips. That's better. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome. For audio, rule number one, make sure you think about what you want to talk about before you hit record. You don't want to hit record and be like, today we're talking about giraffes, I guess. Giraffes are tall. Have in your mind what you want to talk about. Write down like 1 or 2 or 3 points that you want to hit along the way. Please, please, please stay out of the wind. Whenever you have the wind, it sounds like this. Hey, by the way, I didn't mention, that's what I use for lighting. It's like a super cheap light ring that I got at Best Buy, and I'll put in the description the link if you want to get one of those. It's not from me, so it's not sponsored, but I'll also put the link to my actual like legit camera setup if you want it. Stay out of the wind. Stay out of the wind, Bullseye. Remember that? Toy Story? No? Okay.
Ride like the wind, Bullseye!
One thing I do whenever I'm holding my phone, this is your audio right here. You don't want to cover that up with your hand. You want to be conscious of that. What I do is I like to cup my hand around the audio. See that? It almost becomes like a directional mic with my hand. And that allows the audio to go straight into that little bucket and go straight into the phone. Next, on volume of your voice. I cannot control the volume of my voice. No? Okay.
I'm unable to control the pitch or volume of my voice.
If 100% is screaming at someone, 50% is you talking normal. Hey guys, what's up? My name's Tyler. This is how I talk in a normal conversation. You want to go about 60 to 65%. You want to talk a little bit louder than normal, just because the louder you are, the more it cuts out that external noise of people doing dishes in the kitchen. So that's it, guys. I hope those tips helped. If you would subscribe, that's going to change the world. If you like to learn and grow and just have fun in an online YouTube community. If you like YouTube, subscribe. Everybody's doing it. All right, y'all be good, stay sweet, keep videoing, be good, be nice, stay safe. I'm out. Oh, that's the lighting, not this. Remember, we talked about that. Hey. Why should you make videos? Why should you make videos for your class? Number one, students like them. Students like video. And you think, well, not every student. Movies make a lot of money, okay? People like watching video. The trick is finding videos that they engage with, that they like, that keep their attention. That's the trick. Now, you have an edge if it's you making it, because people will watch videos longer if it's someone they know, okay? So like if you're watching this and you know me, thank you for sticking around. What's up, Tyler? It's good to see you. But if you don't, it's meant less to you than someone else on here who knows me in real life or has met me, because we have that personal face-to-face connection as well. However, you can still find videos that are really helpful for students that aren't you. Also, it allows students to rewatch something. Think of a traditional classroom. If you're teaching something in your class and you say something and a student doesn't understand it, what options do they have to ask you to repeat it? They have to raise their hand, and you call on them, and they say, I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Can you explain it again? Which you would do because you're a great teacher, but also what they just did. Some students are fine with asking. Some students, you know this, we get these students all the time. They won't ever ask a question, even if they don't understand it. You know why? Because they view it as, if I raise my hand, that's me admitting to all of my peers that I'm not as smart as them, or that I don't understand the things that they understand. We know it's not true as teachers, and we try to encourage them not to, but it's the reality of it. If you send them a video, or if you give them a video option afterwards, they can pause, rewind, rewatch. They can go in and see it as many times. Like, I did a presentation, my last PD I did. Somebody afterwards, they were like, man, you talked really fast. It's hard to keep up. Guess what? They can go back and watch it again. They can pause me. They can rewind. They can rewatch it. They can slow down the speed. They can speed up the speed. If you're watching this PD and you're thinking, wow, I wish this would hurry up. I need to do this to get my PD hours. You can go into your settings and you can speed it up 2 times speed and get done in twice the time. As long as I don't talk too fast. You can still understand me. There we go. Okay, number 3, students will connect with you more. Make it because it helps your students connect with you, and that's what we want, because we want our students to connect with us and care about about us, because that's another level of them wanting to pursue their education in a way that is better than just, here's the material, go for it. We connect with students. That's what makes us powerful as teachers. And you're saying to yourself, but I don't want to. You can't make me, Guy. First off, don't be so aggressive, okay? That was really mean. Let the students create the videos. If you don't want to make the videos, students love creating. If you're working virtually as a teacher and you're not letting your students go out with their parents' phone or iPad or video camera or whatever and create, you should. Because students love it and they love seeing themselves on screen, and it sounds shallow, but they love it. And then maybe they can teach to their classmates on something. Boom. Okay, I want to give you the 4 levels I've analyzed as video types, okay? First one's called the Wizard of Oz. This is the easiest one to make, okay? This type of video, it's like the Khan Academy videos where you just see a screen, you don't see a person, it's just somebody talking, okay? These videos are harder to retain based on my research for my dissertation. The next one, this is called the chalkboard. This is an example of, like, it's just me teaching in front of a board and talking, but like the students are, watching on a video as opposed to watching in person. That's just a classroom moved over there. This one is a slideshow. This is what I'm doing right now. It's me, you can see me, but also it has my presentation, a slideshow that you can see. That's a great combination because it gives them the graphics, the text, but then also they get to see a human being. It's not just like a voiceover, Wizard of Oz. And number 4 would be the entertainer. This is like Crash Course does, where they clip in clips of real life events or photos or anything else that is something that adds a visual element. Like if you ever watch a documentary, if you watch The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, that was interviews, voiceovers, but then also real clips from back in the day whenever he was playing. So it had all the elements. And did anybody see that? Tell me in the comments. Did you see The Last Dance? And what would you rate The Last Dance 1 to 10? Ooh, and also, I'd love a new documentary. I saw Free Solo was incredible. Last Dance was incredible. If you know any other great documentaries, let me know in the comments. The most important part, that's not part of the, okay? So, quick tips. Look at that haircut. That's disgusting. That old video, oh, that's probably why that one didn't get any views anymore, because that's gross. It's like a dirty mullet. Ugh. Okay, here we go. Make it look decent, okay? On the left is mine that I just redid. On the right's another dude's who has more subscribers than me, so maybe don't listen to what I'm about to say. It is very easy to make your channel look good and give it some professionalism. I'm going to show you where I would recommend. See that part up there that says Tarver Academy? It's got the little clicker and it says helping the world's best students and teachers, or helping the world's best students learn to have fun. I should know my own tagline. That right there, that's my channel art. It's called YouTube channel art. That is where you would go and put something that tells about your channel. It's the name of your channel and either your theme or how you add people value or your mission statement or when you upload videos. Every Sunday, new video. You put that in your channel art. Everything else, you want to create playlists, you want to have a YouTube trailer. Those are all things I have videos on we can talk about later. Important thing to know when you're uploading a video. When you upload a video, it asks you 3 things. Well, 4 technically was scheduled. Unlisted. That means that that link to that video is the only way somebody can see it. So you can share that link to that video with your class and they'll see it, but people can't just find it on the internet. Public, people can just find it on the internet. Anybody can see it and search for it. Private means nobody can see it. But then also you have scheduled, which means that you can choose when that video goes out. So I can upload it and say, I don't want it to come out until Wednesday morning at 9. Also, you can do a Premiere. That's what this is right now. This is a Premiere. I shot this, edited it, uploaded it, and scheduled it to come out because that way I can talk to you guys in the comments while I'm presenting all this. Great way to do a virtual class too, because it's like you have a co-teacher. You can teach your lesson while it's happening. Your students are in the comments and you're dropping in links, advice, answering questions. It's what I've been doing this whole time. Cover art and thumbnails. I used to use Adobe Spark and that was what I recommended. I love Canva now. Canva is awesome. You can create templates, designs. If you want to create a YouTube thumbnail, you just type in YouTube thumbnail. Boom. Guess what? It brings up example YouTube thumbnails. You can take one, make a copy, change the text, the photos, good to go. YouTube cover art. You can do this for Instagram stories. You can do it for Facebook covers, Facebook group covers, book covers. Canva is incredible and it's free. And actually you can apply to get it free for teachers to get the pro version. So you should definitely apply for it. Canva is awesome. I recommend it. That's for your cover art and your thumbnails. In screen, those are the things that pop up at the end of the video. It's like a circle, things you can click on actually on mobile. It was created for mobile. Annotations used to be these things that popped in throughout the video, but they got rid of that. And then there's cards. Cards are like there's like a little white thing that pops up in the upper right-hand corner and it comes across. It's like you can click on it and go out. So I'm not gonna do that, but if I wanted to, I could be like, hey, I made a video on how to shoot with your iPhone. Check the card. And then when it pops in, you can click it and you can either watch it immediately or you can click, and when you click that, it'll say, you wanna watch this as soon as the video's over? You say, yes. That's actually what I should start doing. I don't do it because then I gotta go find where I said that and I always forget. So, recommendations. Next one, I wanna recommend to you some YouTubers that I like, but also I have a place where I would love to hear your recommendations. So, here we go. And that was a video I made. It was a tutoring rap. It was great. Here we go, social studies. Hip Hughes, he is great. He's a guy who's a teacher who started making history videos on YouTube, does an awesome job. Tom Ritchie, who's actually been on my podcast a couple times, love Tom Ritchie, awesome dude, meme extraordinaire, check him out. Hip Hughes and Tom Ritchie are both like teachers that are teaching history, so you know they're gonna come at it with a teacher's censor, like they're gonna filter through in their brain, like this is appropriate, this is not appropriate, and they're really good at trying to be unbiased, even though like, and again, Tom and Hip, I don't know Hip Hughes very well, but you guys, if I'm overreaching or saying this incorrectly, you can tell me and I'll apologize later. I think Tom leans more probably Republican just a little bit, and Hip Hughes leans a little bit more Democrat, but that's a really cool dynamic because sometimes they'll do videos together where they debate and talk about different sides. But they're both really good at presenting the information in an unbiased way. So you can follow either of them. It's not gonna go wrong. Vox, they do some really good pieces, but then they also lean a little bit left. So I don't know, keep that in mind. They've got some pieces that are better. It's more historical when they go and break down history. But then also there's some of their editorial pieces or their opinion pieces. Just stay away from those if you don't want that in your class. But it's also a good topic if you want your students to like be able to look at bias and call it out and stuff. And recognize it, you know, whether they agree with it or not. And then Crash Course. Crash Course makes some of the best educational videos on the planet. They're just really good. Like I said, they're the entertainer. They're gonna put in so many elements. They're scripted. They've got a whole team that does research. It's not just like me creating the presentation for like 3 hours and then filming and then editing and then uploading it. They've got a team of people that help do this, and they're very good at it. Very good at it. So I definitely recommend checking them out. The only thing I will tell you, if you're giving this to your students or your class, watch the video first. Every now and then they'll drop like a level 1 curse word in there. So just be careful if that's something that you don't want to post in there for your students, but the material is so good. We had a young lady at a school I worked at, and she made a really good grade on one of her AP exams, and she got a 5. And we were just like, wow, we talked to her the year after when she came back, and we were like, what did you do? What do you attribute that to? And she said, and I quote, 90% of what I used for this test, I learned in the 3 weeks leading up to the test from Crash Course History. So check it out. It's a great resource to teach your students to engage them. I mean, it's like watching little shows. Here's some science channels. Vsauce does a good job, has a good channel. Tyler DeWitt. I've actually met Tyler, talked to him at South by Southwest. Super cool dude, super nice. I really like him, and I would highly, highly recommend him as a source. Paul Anderson does Bozeman Science. He does some good videos. And then Crash Course does science videos as well. Crash Course, like I said, they're great. English. I have no idea if these are good because, as you can tell, I speak English phenomenally. I'm just kidding. But seriously, these are some English channels that other people have recommended. If you recommend an English channel or yourself and you do English, let me know on there. I've got like 4 English videos on there, like the difference between there, and there, your, and your. Just stuff in English that got on my nerves that I want to teach about. So I've got a few. I'd love to make some more in the future. Unless you're watching this in the future, then hopefully I've already made them. Math. Khan Academy. Videos are bleh, but the website's really good. It's very adaptive. So I like the website. But then again, Bill Gates gives me $2 million. I'm going to make a great website too. Patrick JMT, he's got a credible amount of resources, ton of really good YouTube. He's got like 1 million subs, and I've met him. He's a super nice dude too. Like, I like people I've met in real life, even though I'm promoting YouTube people. I've met them in real life, a lot of them, and they're just nice people. But then again, aren't all teachers nice people? Yay Math. I talked to this dude, and he's OG math YouTuber from back in the day, like me, who like would upload full lessons. And his channel took off. He's got over like 200,000 subs. You should sub to him too. Great dude, smart guy, entrepreneur. He's just really good, and he's a good person from the times I've talked to him, and I highly recommend Yay Math. And then, what is this? Sir Tyler Tarver. Oh goodness, youtube.com/Sir Tyler Tarver. Goodness gracious, what is that? What in the world? How did we get here? Oh no, if you want to subscribe, it's right below. Shameless self-promotion. That's me. My channel's called Tarver Academy. I've got math videos, but I've also got a lot of Google tutorials, teaching videos, training videos, YouTube videos. I try to be entertaining and or educating in everything that I do. And so if you like that and it resonates with you, subscribe. If not, totally cool. I appreciate your listening to me now. Here's some early education stuff. Some of it I've seen, some of it was recommended to me. PBS Kids does a really good job. They've got a lot of resources. National Geographic Kids got some really cool stuff. I love Storybots. Storybots was a YouTube show, and then it actually got picked up on Netflix as a Netflix show. So it's on both of those, and they've got some really good resources. My son loved watching it when he was younger. Word World, I have no idea what that is. Somebody recommended it to me. However, in this presentation, if you click Add Channel here, right here, you can go to a Google Sheet that you have access to edit, and I want you to add any channels that you think would add people value or help people out. Put the link and what it is. I would love to help create essentially a huge list of stuff that people like. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Hey, it's Tyler here. I'm just gonna give you a little break. So if you need to go do something, you need to go use the restroom, get a snack, get something to eat, whatever, you can go do that. I was gonna chat with you about some stuff, give you some time to do that and check in, maybe say hi. If you want in the chat, let's do a little check-in. In the chat, how you feeling? Toss in your emoji of how you feeling right now. Let's do a little emoji checkup, if you will. So while you're doing that, I do want to give, you know what? I spent a lot of time writing this book, and I genuinely think this book is going to help you in your classroom. It's gonna inspire you more than anything. It's a read with me, and one of the things that I feel like I've never been the smartest dude in the room. I've never been, the most talented, but I'll say this, I was always been pretty approachable, I think. I've been approachable, and I think what this is, I've tried to be as relatable as possible. I'm talking about my experiences, things I've run into in the classroom, what I've learned as a teacher and as an administrator and as a student, what I learned. And so this is the Baller Teacher Playbook. If you're interested in checking this out, I recommend, of course I recommend, it's my book. It's not the best book on education, but I think it's good enough to help you in some way. It's got a lot of practical experience in it. I've got quotes. That's a do you boo-boo. I could have picked a better chapter. Here's one thing, I wanna show you one thing that I did at the end of each chapter, because I know teachers, okay? I put in practical application, I put in reflection, because we know reflection is important, even though we never have time to do it, but it's got spots for you to write that in, so this is something you can work on by yourself or with your team. But here's the part that I did, and this is legit just for teachers. I don't know if you can see that. I put in, at the end of each chapter, I have a section called TLDR. That's internet talk for too long, didn't read. So what that means is, let's say you've got a team meeting, okay? Because there's 18 chapters in here. That means you and your team, or you and your building, you can go through a chapter once a week. You meet on your planning period and spend 10 minutes talking about what you did, what you tried, what worked, what didn't work, stuff to help improve your class and improve your students. Every week you can do that. Have you ever done this? In the chat, be honest, you ready? Have you ever had a team meeting where you're supposed to read something and you're walking over to the meeting and you're like, oh no, I forgot to read the thing I'm supposed to read that we're gonna discuss for like 15 minutes. So you like just try to chill and like hopefully don't get called on or get called out for not reading it. At the end of each chapter, I have a section called TLDR where in like 2 to 5 bullet points, I summarize the chapter. So you could be walking to the meeting, you could read these 3 or 4 bullet points and be able to have a conversation about the entire chapter. There's stories in here, there's practical experience, there's, you know, ways that I messed up, ways that I failed, and then ways that I feel like I succeeded, and I'm just talking through what I learned from both of those. And I would love for you to learn and grow with me. So if you want to check out that book, it's on Amazon. I'll have the link on the screen if you want to get it. Link is in my bio. I link links everywhere to it. So Baller Teacher Playbook. I think it can help you in your classroom. Okay, we're about to get started. Kick back into it. Hopefully you're ready to roll, ready to go. And let's jump back in. Let's jump back in like Michael Phelps, okay? Well, does that work? Does that work? I mean, he jumps into the pool. That's what I was going for. I need to know more like high diver. High divers would have been better. I'll tell you this, we're gonna stick the landing like Carrie Strug. Y'all remember her? Carrie Strug, remember the Olympics? Georgia Olympics? Atlanta Olympics? You remember that? It's okay. It's a very narrow reference. All right, let's get started. Let's kick it off. Let's jump back in. Get your notes out. Get your screens pulled up. Get your coffee ready. Get your ice water. Your sweet tea. If you're from Arkansas like me, you know you like that sweet tea. And we're about to kick it off. Here we go. Let's get back in. Let's get back in. I'll see you guys. All right. Okay. That was a lot of information. I hope you got something out of it. What we're about to do is we're rolling into the interview section of the trainings. And this is my talk I did with Tom Ritchie, the YouTube history teacher, the educator. Go follow him, subscribe to him, check him out. He is a great dude, and he is doing a lot in education to go out and help people and make things better and assist students where he can. And I think he's one of the best I've seen at building community and being himself and having personality in his online education. And I love his channel and everything he does. So we're going to go listen to Tom chat with me about being a YouTube educator.
So a lot has changed since then. A lot has stayed the same. And of course, that's part of what I look at as a history teacher. I teach history at Seneca High School in Seneca, South Carolina. And in 2012, I started a little YouTube channel where I started putting my history lectures online for my students, which the objective was primarily my own students, but other people started watching, and eventually this is now grown. I just got my play button in the mail a couple of weeks ago. Now, when you get to that point, Tyler, you have to ask them for it. Like, I didn't realize a lot of us that get to that threshold, you think that, oh, you know, YouTube's just got people sitting around waiting for people to hit 100,000 subscribers and they're just going to send the play button. Nope, you just kind of think about it. It's like about a year later, I think it happens with a lot of people. It starts to occur to you, I never got that play button. And you have to actually contact them, and then they review your channel. They send it over there. I actually got it in the mail a couple of weeks ago, but I still haven't opened it. I'm going to France this weekend, and I want to actually take my picture at the Arc de Triomphe and actually have my play button there with it. We'll see how that works out, but I was thinking I wanted to go Napoleonic with it. So yeah, it's like it's just really blown up way beyond what I ever thought possible for a channel like that. And at first, I remember when I made the channel, I'd try to make kind of videos that didn't really, you know, I was like, okay, well, the straight up history lectures probably won't turn into anything. So I was trying to do a video on this or this, and then it ended up, those bread and butter history lectures just ended up being the essence of the channel, even though I do a few things here and there. I've started to do some more random stuff lately. Did you know about this James Charles guy?
Dude, okay, so I heard one of the young ladies I work with, she does some like influencer, like makeup tutorial stuff. And so she got real into it because it's like kind of her world. And she was like explaining it to it. And I felt like, you know, whenever I get really excited about YouTube or education, I'm just like going off. I'm like, this and this is happening and something big's happening. And I see people's eyes just look at me like, I do not care. That's how I felt when she was explaining it. But I was intrigued because of the YouTube side of it and just like, you know, how everything went. So I really got her recap of it. But no joke, I was walking into a store and I saw your notification or your video thumbnail pop up, and it said the James Charles controversy. And I was like, wow, he's really, because you had the background was like an Ulta or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he's talking about just YouTube stuff. As soon as it started, I clicked it because you had me, man.
Gotcha.
The thumb worked. I clicked it. I started watching it and I go, oh my goodness, this is the most genius thing I've seen in 2019. That was incredible. Tell them what you did. What was your thought process? Because I know you saw that, oh, there's this big controversy. Tell us your thought process for like, I'm going to make a video about this, but I'm going to kind of turn it on its head.
Yeah, and so what happened here was that my students, this actually started in my own classroom, which typically I try to kind of keep a threshold, just a distance between my day job and my YouTube channel. But this actually started with my own students, which is really, really funny to me because they typically don't give me ideas. They were just like, Richie, you need to make a video about this James Charles controversy. And I'm like, what? And they told me, okay, well, there's this guy that puts on makeup on YouTube and he's just lost 3 million subscribers. And I was really kind of like you were, Tyler. I was just like looking at my students with this kind of like, okay, why do y'all want me to make a video about this guy that puts on makeup? And they were just so passionate about it, though. And so what I thought about this, I thought, you know what? If they're so passionate about this, let me figure out a way that I can do this. And so I told them, I said, wait, James Charles. And I thought, well, the kings of England in the 17th century were James Charles, Charles James, and it was a pretty tumultuous century with the English Civil War and the Glorious Revolution. And I told the students my idea. Now, what I thought was that this was going to be something, it was obviously a clickbait video. And what I had in mind was a video that was going to get like just tons of dislikes. Like people were going to click on that. They're going to be like, man, I don't like this. This isn't what I wanted. And then it just ended up that everybody's just, when I mean everybody, it's really I got 36,000 views on this thing, 4,000 likes and 33 dislikes. So the like to dislike ratio is 99.2%, which typically I don't make a lot of controversial videos, but at the same time, sometimes it's just, but when you look at something like this, what I anticipated was just a clickbait video that people would just get ticked off when they opened it, but then my own audience members would think it was funny. And they ended up, of course, a lot of people from my audience, I realize now when you have an academic channel, and this is something for people to think about, anybody with an academic channel, you have an academic channel. So you understand how it is that people subscribe to your channel, but when they're looking in the store and it's like, oh, Tarver Academy just posted a video about derivatives, and they're not like, oh, I gotta watch that.
I gotta get this.
Yeah. So the thing is, when you have an academic channel, your subscribers typically don't really watch your videos. And for me, it's like I've got 140,000 subscribers. For a typical video, I'm lucky to get 1,000 people watching it in the first 24 hours. But then I post something like that and everybody's opening it. And they're like, oh, look at him. He put his own spin on this. So they respected that. But I'm learning, even though, and it's kind of like what got you here won't get you there sort of thing. And you always have to kind of be willing to pivot. That at first, when I did my channel, I'm like, hey, I want to make some more like just creative kind of videos and see how that does. And then really it just got to where, okay, people want these lectures. But I think at the point where I am now, I've got to remember every once in a while going into some kind of current issue, especially if it's a current issue that's not politics or something like that. If I can kind of put a spin on it that's funny, it's just people liked it. And it was just really unanticipated, the kind of response that it got. So, and that's the other thing, is just showing love to your channel when you have other stuff going on. And I think that's something that a lot of educators on YouTube struggle with, not only with the day jobs that we have, but also with other things that have come up. So, since last time you and I talked, my online tutoring business has picked up a good bit. And so when I'm thinking, okay, I could either make a YouTube video or I can tutor some kid, it's like tutoring some kid online, that's an immediate payoff. But at the same time, I've got to try to find a balance between, okay, I've got this app, I've got tutoring, I've got the YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel was my first love. And I want to make sure that I'm showing that channel some love. So that's something that increasingly, I just find myself pivoting, but I'm hoping, and I always tell myself, oh, this is the year when my YouTube channel is finally going to get the love that it deserves. And it hasn't happened quite yet, but I think maybe, again, this is the year. One of these years, it's got to be the year, right?
This is the year. I can feel it. And because we talked, last time we talked, it was just over 3 years ago. And I think at the time, if I remember correctly, I think you had around 10,000 subs at the time. So in 3 years, you have gone up like from up 130,000 subscribers. And so, what I've noticed, it seems like, especially for education channels, well, for most channels, it's like that slow start, and then when it hits, it just takes off. And so it's like, because I don't know if you've ever seen Casey Neistat stuff. He talks about how it took him like 5 years to get 100,000 subscribers, and then it took him like a year to get 1 million, and then 6 months to get 5 million. Like it's kind of exponential with the increase. Did you see a point where yours kind of took off, or has it always been just a steady, every month it's the same? I know you've increased a lot in the past few years, but was there a big jolt, like a video you did or something that took off?
Well, it's kind of course, it's seasonal as well. Like I'm looking here, and when I look at the subscribers, so it's like, total. Now I see monthly subs, but at the same time, when I look back, it's seasonal. With every AP season, I get a certain amount of subscribers. It really is kind of, in a lot of ways, I think when you get to a certain point, it starts to get more just kind of arithmetic in its growth, to use the whole, to use some mathematical, nomenclature. We know where we are right now, right, at Tarver Academy. But there is a point where it is like the first 100 subscribers. It took me more time to get the first 100 subscribers than it did for me to get the next 900 to 1,000. So when I got to 100, it was like, okay, but then getting to 1,000, I think, is a big step. And then from there, it just keeps increasing. But, like, for example, I'm at 140 now, and I got to 100,000 a little more than a year ago. So it is one of those things. I think that my channels, it hasn't gotten another jolt yet. Maybe at some point it will, but there certainly was a jolt around like that 5,000 subscriber mark. You start to see things really picking up. But then at the same time, until I make a ton more videos. I think that's the thing, that when you're dealing with an academic channel, that the amount of students doesn't really change from year to year. So you're going to have about the same amount of people looking for you. And the trick is to have videos about nearly every topic they could ever be looking for, which, when you're an independent creator, can be a little bit difficult. With somebody like a Crash Course, where one person's writing scripts, another person is doing the camera work, another person's editing, and all you have to do is just show up and talk, which, if you're dealing with something like Crash Course, you're showing up and talking, odds are based on a script that someone else wrote for you. So it's just, everybody's got their little job that they're doing. But for independent creators, where I'm writing the script, I'm making the visuals, I'm doing the editing, it's not quite so easy to, let me get a full course of lectures out on this. Now I can't really talk about it right now. Got some kind of hush hush, top secret, non-disclosure agreement, but I'm hoping soon. It sounds maybe much bigger than it is, but
I'm intrigued. You've got
I am hoping to be in a situation, and that is one thing about getting to this point, is you start hearing from people sometimes who want to work with you. They see what you put on YouTube, and they're like, look, I could take that and I could make some money for both of us on that kind of thing. So we'll see if I end up in a situation. But even with that, there's still going to be me making videos in my basement on my channel. Like that's not going to stop. anytime soon. But I am kind of looking forward to the possibility of being able to do some, some other things because I have some help and I'm doing less of the work myself. So hopefully in the next few weeks, I'll be able to announce some things. But for right now, it's like you heard it first on Tarver Academy. You didn't really hear it first, but you kind of heard something,
You almost heard it here first.
Right. You almost heard it here first. This is the first time that I'm actually saying on a public forum that I might have some big news to announce. I mean, I've said that to some people here and there, but right here, Tarver Academy, ladies and gentlemen, y'all keep your eyes and ears open.
Let's go. I'm excited. Yeah, man, I've noticed that like over the past few years, because my channel's not like taken off, like, or not had any big jolts. Mine's been pretty consistent. Like, I'm sure you see the same dips. December, there's a dip. At Christmas, and there's the summer dip. But I see the same, honestly, mine's been the same increase month to month within like 100 or 200, like every year for the past 6-7 years. Like I've never had, oh man, look at this month where a ton takes off. And so it's like, it's a steady thing, but it's been, it's better. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I wish I would have a big jump, or I wish one of my videos on my education channel would take off, like just be, ahead of the rest. Cause most of mine are just like chapter by chapter. You can tell the class is going through them. But then also think like, hey, it's better than 0 a month. So I'm like, I'm not going to get too upset.
And that's the cool thing. Yeah. Cause it's like when I'm on Social Blade right now, looking at the monthly growth, it's like, yeah, I mean, my channel's not really growing at a faster rate than it was growing a couple years ago, but let's see, Bozeman Science. Yeah, Paul Anderson, one time I was talking to him and he warned me about that. It's like I talked to him at some point when the channel was still having that kind of exponential growth. And he said, at some point it's going to kind of flatten out and the growth's just going to be steady. And it's like, okay, I can certainly, I can certainly deal with that. Like right now, let's see, YouTube, Bozeman.
Yeah, how's he doing? I met him at a conference.
Yeah. And, he's like one of those guys too that, you go back to like 2012 and, he's just another guy with an educational channel. Right now he's got 863,000 subscribers.
Wow.
So I'll take some steady growth on the way to 863K, Yeah. I mean, it's like at my current rate of growth, if I can push that a little bit more, be at 200 in a year, but even if it takes a couple years for that. And his latest video, it looks like it's, oh, wow. Okay, we might be hearing something first here. All right. Because here's the like, wow. Okay. So let me just go ahead and say here that I see a post that says 1 year ago. Then the next one says 2 years ago. And then wait for it. I'm back 3 hours ago.
Oh, wow.
3 hours ago.
He's
back.
Taking a break. Oh, did he go work for I thought he was doing independent stuff.
Well, yeah.
So is he working for somebody?
To the best of my understanding, what he's been, I mean, you look at his Instagram, he's traveling around the world and doing trainings and stuff like that. And so now he's like, I'm back. And so this is something that, okay, this is big news. I mean, the thing is, Tyler, when you and I get together, it's like the universe starts like converging. In the southeastern United States, when these southern accents get together and start, sharing that southern energy, then look at this. Yeah. So we mentioned Paul Anderson, and it's like all of a sudden today he's letting us know he's back. So the only thing he's done in the past 2 years is a 15-second video that says ink float, and now he says he's back. So that's the thing. But one thing to kind of note from that is while putting practically nothing into his channel for 2 years, he's gained about another, he's gaining a couple 100,000 subscribers per year. So it is pretty cool when you think about that even when you are even when you're in a situation where you're not necessarily putting into it, because I'm certainly not putting, like I said, I've got a lot of other stuff. Also, like I tell you what, I really like Finn. Your other kids are great too, but Finn's always kind of the star of the show when you're making these videos. And
Thanks, man. I like him a lot. He's my favorite.
Yeah, so like with Finn and your videos and all of that kind of stuff. I don't even know where I was going with that. I was just like, I get all of a sudden.
I don't know. I like that you threw him.
Your cute kids, yeah, and it's just like, wait, what am I saying about that? So I don't even know. I mean, honestly, I don't even know where I was going with that. But it is just as far as yeah, I don't even know it. I'm not even going to pretend to try to recover that.
No,
your kids, your family's just too cute, Tyler. I can't even keep my train of thought. But it's one of those things that with all the other stuff that I know what I was saying now. It's when you have a family. That's one of the things. If you think about like you in 2012 and me, in 2012, I had a 2-year-old, and a 2-year-old really doesn't require. Now, of course, my wife will say much differently. If I say, a 2-year-old doesn't require a lot of time, not necessarily from the father, but with that, when your child gets older, it's not just like, hey, let me play with you for 5 minutes and that's enough kind of thing. Excuse me. You get really kind of caught up in like wanting to be a dad and doing all of these things that come along with that. So that's another thing. You take the job, the day job, the other stuff going on, endeavors and such, and then just having a family really cuts into that. But knowing that even if that happens, the existing body of work can really speak for itself for quite a long time. And that's where it's really interesting to see how, with Paul's channel, it just keeps growing. And now he's back. I tell you, I can't wait to watch that video as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, I read the description on it, and he said, let me see. I had it pulled up. He says, I'm back. I spent the last 3 years working with teachers implementing the next gen science standards. I remember we had to start doing that. Says, I want to share everything I've been working on. My goal is to improve science education K-12 around the world. That's cool. That's exciting. And you mentioned it earlier, and you talked about how like you have 141,000 subscribers, but you said when you post a new video, you might get anywhere from like 1,000 to 3,000 views. And so a lot of people, like because I've talked to other YouTubers who have focused on like, building views when it's uploaded. I think that the difference with us is, like you said, we're building a library of resources for people to go to when they need it. And so the difference I've found in like an education channel and what a normal channel would be is those normal channels see a spike right there when they upload it, and then there's a drop off. Like people aren't going back to watch someone's vlog from 2015 just for fun. They're watching it as it's happening because it's more like the James Charles thing, a current event. And a year from now, I doubt people are just going to be searching to bounce James Charles videos. But you capitalized on something that in a very unique and intelligent way, capitalize on something that was a current event. Because I find the same thing, man. Whenever I'll upload a video, or I'll upload like 10 math videos, like 10 days in a row. I'll film them all and then I'll upload them to one day apart. And I'll see, I'll look up and it's been, a month since I've uploaded them all. One will have 80 views, 100 views, something like that. And then I go 3 years later and I'll have one that has 80 views, still 100 views. And then one has 2,000, one has 20,000. And it's like real random which ones catch on the search terms. And I mean, that's what my views live and die on the search terms. I don't know how yours are. I think you have a better community.
That's most of it. Yeah. That like when it comes down to it, most of those views are coming from the searches. Like more than 80% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed to my channel. So that's the same. I mean, I've talked with my friend Hip Hughes and other people, and that's the thing about academic channels. You really have to, your audience can give you an initial boost, but when I put up a video, what I'm thinking about is not so much what it's going to get on the first day or the first week, but what can it get over time. And so that's something that is important. Yeah, because you realize that a lot of these things are not going to get they're not going to get a lot of videos at first, but when people search for it, then they'll see that and it'll be there for them. And some of them, it's a long time, but at the same time, you know, you think about what you put into creating that video and what you're getting back in passive income, and it can be a pretty good, you know, it's a pretty good investment over time, even though it doesn't always seem that way right at first. But yeah, I do want to kind of start mixing in some more content like that, where, you know, I'm seeing that, yeah, this is content that is that's going to last a little, you know, really kind of building a bridge between the content that's going to last and be there when people search for it, and then also occasionally having those videos that when somebody is searching for this topic. And that's the other thing that, you know, at first I tried to use sexy titles and stuff like that, thought this would be catchy or something like that. And nope, when you have an educational channel, you just call it what it is. And because that's what people are searching. You're just imagining what somebody's searching for, and then there you go. And that's really how that, you know, how that whole process works. And I'm sure that probably is the case for any channel to an extent. But at the same time, I think for ours, it's that much more of a, you know, more of a thing that we just have to think about when we make videos. We're making videos for the long run.
Yep. And that's, I think, like with YouTube, as a creator, like you get this instant high when you upload it. You're like excited because you put the time, the work, the effort in. You're like, yes, that's going up. And then it's like, it's almost like we don't have like gratification of views. Whereas it's like, oh, I'm, you know, uploading it to know that 3 years from now, it might be, you know, a popular video might bring in $10 a month or $200 a month, you know, depending on how it goes, or bring in nothing. So it's like it's almost like you have to do it not expecting anything immediately. I've gotten to the point now where I'll edit, you know, a bunch of videos in a row. I'll schedule them all to upload. And then I don't even check in on them. I'm just like, cause it's like, if I do, I feel like if I check in once, I'll check in 30 times to see if it's gone up or anything.
Yeah.
And
sometimes sometimes I'll actually strategically start the upload right before I go to bed, because that way I know that it's not going to be uploaded before I go to sleep. Because if I have a video that gets uploaded at about 10 p.m., I'll find myself just constantly checking, like, oh, how's this doing? How are people responding to it and stuff like that? Whereas if I go to sleep and then I just wake up the next morning and, you know, I can, okay, in between classes or something like that, just take out my phone, just look at it and like, oh, okay, there we go. But yeah, it's definitely something. I mean, it's interesting to talk to other people who have these same kind of experiences, because it definitely is something that I have to think about. Because yeah, I will, if I have that thing posted at 10 p.m., I probably won't go to bed until like 1 at the earliest. Because I'm just like, oh, how's this thing doing and how are people responding?
Oh yeah, I'm the same way, man. Same way. Okay, so I want to talk about like something that makes you unique as far as like educational YouTubers. I feel like a lot of times we make these lessons, we make these videos, and we upload them, and then people watch them, and it's like, one, I love it whenever teachers put personality into it. And I think you're really good at putting your personality into it. I think that you're like, it's even like exemplified even more on your Instagram account. I think I've always admired the way you built a really strong community of students that aren't in your classroom. Like you have people that are making like Tom Ritchie, like Instagram accounts, like fan accounts on Instagram. Like you have like this group of students that it's almost like you guys rally around like the AP tests and build towards it. And you're like encouraging them. And it's like you're building this community of students that aren't in your like physical classroom. Like, what do you think when you do that? Is that natural to you? Is it something you work on? Like, how do you build that community?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And that's one thing that I think differentiates my social media from a lot of other teacher social media. A lot of teachers on their social media, they're teacher influencers, their followers are mostly teachers, and their target audience is teachers. Whereas on my videos, I nearly always have calls to action where it's like, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And they actually, and I show them things there that have, the things have value. And I try to kind of intersperse, like, here's some self-promotion, here's a meme, here's something from my life. I took my kid to breakfast or something like that. and, or I'm traveling here, and, getting on the Instagram lives and just there's a chance for people to just have informal conversations with me. So that can be a lot of fun. Yeah, I think the cultivation of a community is really important, and it's something that I can always step up, but it is one of those things that I'm proud of as far as my channel, especially with the educational nature of it, that there are people who are like, hey, I'm making a fan account. Or there was a Yale bound valedictorian in California that posted about her valedictory speech, and she had 10 things that she learned in high school, and I was in her top 10. That it's like, Tom Ritchie is an amazing history teacher, and you definitely want to follow him if you're taking history classes in high school. And so that's the thing, that social media, it's like part of building a community is just having an impact, like where people think that because of what you're doing, like their life has been made easier and better. And a confusing course like AP European history or something like that has been made more accessible because of what I do.
Yeah. And it's made fun. Like, that's the thing. You don't see a lot of, even on YouTube, which is more forward thinking, I think, you don't see a ton of like, here's a meme, or, here's the way you relate it to, stuff that's going on. I love it, man. I think you do a killer
and I think the other side of that is that something that I always kind of fought to do, and it was an intentional strategy when I went in, is especially when I got involved in this, and I think that's still the case to a certain extent. On one hand, you've got your edutainment channels, your crash courses, your other channels like that, that the primary objective is to entertain. I mean, it's got an educational value to it, but you can tell the primary objective is try to keep an audience engaged and entertained. Yeah. But not necessarily, except for I know in econ, they've got an actual teacher there, but in most cases, the person delivering the video with the talent is not necessarily an educator. And then you've got the professors that record their entire lectures and stuff like that. And those can be like 45 minutes to an hour. And I was like, what if I can just kind of get in the middle of that? I saw space sort of in the middle where, I want to be, people to see when they see the video, okay, this is obviously an actual teacher. This person's primary objective is to help me pass a test. But that doesn't mean we can't have a little fun while we're doing it. That's really, and that seems to be the space that I've kind of come in to occupy. And that kind of differentiates me. And I need to differentiate myself because a lot of your edutainment people, they've got a lot more money and a lot more resources. And so when they go to Tom Ritchie's videos, it's something that, okay, I don't have to listen to this professor talk who kind of talks over my head, but here's somebody that's talking to me, but he's doing so as an educator. And that's kind of where I, see myself. And I think that like Hip Hughes occupies a very kind of similar thing. I've seen some of your videos, like you definitely make it fun when you're putting that stuff out there. And I think that that's really, and it's a segment that I think is really useful, but we're pretty much doing it on our own. That's the thing that, and there are some advantages to that too, but it can be kind of a solitary existence and not getting the same instant gratification that gaming channels get, when every video you post is focusing on a game that people play for fun and how to play that game better, then they get a lot more views on every post. But, at the same time, when we look at our long-term body of work, we're like, okay, we're getting something out of that.
Yeah. I love it. And speaking of Hip Hughes, so I did a YouTube education training for some teachers yesterday. And so we're sitting there and, near the end, I always give them like, here are my recommendations. Here are my people that I recommend. I give them like each subject and early childhood and all this other stuff. And I give 4 for each of them. And, you're the first one on history that I'm always like, Tom Ritchie, subscribe to him right now. I got you. And then Hip Hughes are 2 of my 4. And Crash Course is one of them. But I always give them like the heads up. I'm like, I always say like, okay, these 2 guys, they're educators. And so they understand the world of education. I said, Crash Course makes really good videos, but always watch it first, because every now and then they throw in like a level 1 cuss word. And so it's like, us as educators, we understand like we can't throw out those words in a classroom. We have to kind of be more conservative when it comes to things that we know teachers are going to use. And I think that's one of the big differences. Like when you have people that are in that world, they understand the restrictions, limitations we have. Whereas if you're not, you just think, oh, well, they should get over it. Oh, they should do this. And they're like, no, you can say get over it, but you're not getting 30 parent phone calls because they're upset because their kid came home and said, my history teacher showed a video that said this.
Right. And I think that that's something that I like to have a video, because even with Hip Hughes, he's a little, I guess that's just his personality, and he's in New York. And so every once in a while, like there's a Hip Hughes video that I watch and I'm like, maybe I should have previewed that.
Yeah.
But, when I make videos, my goal, like you're saying, is like a teacher, even in the most like conservative area, would not have to preview the video to see, is this appropriate for my class? And anytime there is some kind of expletive or something like that, I'll beep it out if I'm just saying something for effect, because sometimes it's kind of funny that, there's something in there, especially when I do rapping. Like every once in a while, I'll, I've got this, I call it Warm Water Records after Peter the Great. And I want people to know it's not a serious thing. I don't take myself seriously as a rapper. I'm kind of like, Super Hot Fire. I'm not a rapper, sort of thing. But
I wrote that.
Yes, exactly. History. I teach that, and that sort of thing. But the thing is that it's sometimes funny to throw something in there, but it's like, let that be understood to be there, but it doesn't have to actually be there. And that's, of course, people that understand the education world, that's something that, you really want to create an atmosphere where people aren't feeling like, well, I don't know, he's going to throw in something unexpected. And that these are being made to be used in schools. Like that's something that is pretty important as well.
Yep. I think it's great. And I love it when educators are aware and working for other educators and students. So that's awesome. So I got one more question. And then everything else I want to talk to you about, I'm not going to post. So I'm going to pause that. So,
all right. The secret part of the conversation.
Deep cuts. So last question I got for you, man. What is say I'm a teacher, I'm an educator somewhere, and I'm kind of thinking about starting a YouTube channel, an education YouTube channel. What advice would you have for them starting it out?
One thing that I would say is to make sure that they understand that I was so obsessed with lighting when I first started. And there's good reason for that. You want to be obsessed with lighting. But if I would have been obsessed with audio first, I think that I would have seen more growth at first, because I was obsessed with lighting at first, but my lighting was still terrible. And lighting is something, of course, now, if somebody were to come up to me, I could give them some recommendations. But, back in the day, there weren't a lot of teachers doing this. So you just had to kind of be on your own. But audio is more important. Like, you think about it, if you see a video that's poorly lit, your eyes can kind of get over it. But if you see a video, if you're watching a video that has bad audio, your ears don't want to get over it. It's just like, hey, there's just all this background noise and all of that. So I think that when people are making videos, if they're starting out, get a microphone. And I've found that even for $30, you can get a microphone that's going to be a lot better than whatever's on your computer or your camera, especially video cameras, and especially if somebody's using a DSLR. They never have good audio pickup because they're made for video. And so the thing is, and then finding a quiet room. When I first started recording, I was recording in my classroom, and they're these old AC units, heating and AC units that, those are in those schools that have those in the individual classroom, and they come on and it's just, and so I had that going on, and I'd try to edit the audio out, but it sounded bad. So it's like finding a quiet place to do, just a place that doesn't have background noise, and using a microphone that makes everything come in clearly, I think is really important. And if somebody would have told me that right at first, get your audio down first and then let the other stuff kind of take care of itself, I think that that's something that can be very helpful to people.
That's good. That is good advice. Yeah, I'll watch something that's a little bit blurry, but if it hurts my ears, I'm out. I'm bouncing. So that's heads up. Thank you so much for taking this time to chat with this audience. If they wanted to find you, if they wanted to go out and join the Richie Squad, the what do you call yourself, aspiring meme lord? If you want to check him out, where can they find you on social to stay with what you're doing?
At Tom Ritchie on Instagram and Twitter, TOMRICHEY. A lot of people have a hard time with Ritchie, even though it makes sense to me. People want to put a T in it because some people do that. And I don't have a problem with that if that's the way that people roll, but it's just not how I roll. So Tom Ritchie, if you go to YouTube, if you put in Tom R, it should come up pretty easy, or AP Euro or AP US History. But you can search, typically if you search for Tom R, that was a really big thing for me, was the day that I realized that I'd passed up Tom Riddle. For a long time, for the first few years of my channel, when you put in Tom R or Tom RI, then it would say Tom Riddle. And I'm like, that's a fictional character and I'm a real person. So my aspiration is that I come in ahead of this fictional character.
Yeah.
And so when I finally got to that point where somebody could search for Tom R on YouTube, and there I am, I was like, okay, take that, Lord Voldemort. All right, that's I've got the older wand here.
That's good.
Sort of thing. So that was a really cool thing there. But yeah, on YouTube, if you go to Tom R, that can be done there. But yeah, if you search for AP European History, AP US History, you're bound to find me. But yeah, it's truly an honor to be a guest on Tarver Academy. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Well, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate him a lot. Please check him out. Give him some love, you guys.
All right, we're on the last session. This is the interview I did with Trey Van Camp talking about being a YouTube creator, and we're ending with this. If this interests you, if you want to be a creator, you want to create for your class, or just be better at finding resources for your students so they can either create or just learn, that's going to be in our YouTube creator training coming up later. But if you want, this is the last session, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get something out of it. I hope you get some perspectives that help guide you in your YouTube educator journey. So, Trey, take it away. Here we go. My name's Tyler. I'm here with your boy, Trey. Trey, if you want real quick, this may be for you, for me, for both. So let's both go through who we are and give our one sentence synopsis of who we are. So you can go first because you're better at everything. So go for it.
No, yeah. So my channel is, I'm just trying to document my life as I follow King Jesus and kind of really build a family, build a church. And it's so fun to be able to document both the success and the failures along the way. And it's really cool to just kind of learn from the community, be a blessing to the community. The community has been such a blessing to me. So, man, it's just fun documenting. But, yeah, tell me about you. I feel like I just met you this last week through a mutual friend. We won't say his name because then he'll feel so proud, right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to say
No, we don't need to give him that credit. We want him to earn, we want somebody else to figure it out. That's part of the mystery.
Right.
My name's Tyler Tarver. I do a bunch of education stuff on YouTube and help kids with math, help teachers teach, and then that's it. Usually try to make a ton of super cheesy jokes. That's most of my life right there. So
nice. So you infuse entertainment with education to keep them going.
Yeah, that's it. It's hard to make high school math engaging because it's hey, check out this quadratic formula. And so I try to throw that in there, and then also, I've been trying some new things, documenting the road to 100,000 subscribers, which I'm not even halfway there, and then, some other stuff I'm working on. And I know you've got some new stuff, dude. What other new stuff you got rolling?
Well, first of all, you have 30,000 subs on one channel, 26,000 on another.
They're all bought. I bought them on Fiverr.
You bought
No, I'm just kidding. It looked like it because of the views, but it's just apparently they subscribed because I helped them with slope-intercept formula, and then they never come back. That's what it is.
Yeah. Honestly, there's two different ways to really approach a YouTube channel. So it's interesting us talking with each other, because I feel like one side is, hey, I'm just going to develop the relationship. I'm not going to fully answer your questions every time, but I'm hopefully going to entertain you and maybe bring some little tidbits of encouragement. And that's kind of the route that I've gone. I don't spend a ton of time. I want to get better at this. I don't spend a ton of time thinking of a great title, for the vlog, or a clickbait, or an image that everyone will click, which I want to get better at. But at the same time, what's cool is I kind of have the security that people are coming back, because it's more, I'm not here just to give them an answer.
Yeah.
So your strategy, which can really blow up faster, is, hey, here's a title that everyone's already searching for. Mm-hmm. And obviously within the first 10 seconds, you've captured their attention with your personality. So they know, oh, I'm going to subscribe to this guy, and when I need him, I'll go.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Most of my YouTube stuff is people searching how to do whole numbers. And so it's or how to do slope intercept formula. That's my main one that does well. And so it's it's hard because it's like you want to start stuff that's more consistent, but then it's hard to build people that, like you said, don't come there just because they have to learn something for school. And so if only I'd followed through with my history and political science degree and actually taught history online instead of like math that nobody likes. So what could have been, you know what I'm saying? So one of the cool things that, because I've seen several of your vlogs, and I love that whenever you're talking to your audience, what would you say, and I know you've probably looked at analytics, what is the age range of most of your like YouTube audience?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So for a while, it was super cool. It was 50-50 on male and female. So I was like jacked about that.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of had the 15 to 35 range.
Yeah.
But more recently, I've really found, I forget how they divide it, but it's essentially like the 20 to 35 is like totally who I'm reaching right now.
That's cool because the 15-year-olds are on Snapchat now.
Yeah,
terrible.
15-year-olds,
It's over 10 seconds.
I don't speak their language, so I can't. I don't know what yeet means.
Y'all yeet. All right. Y'all yeet.com.
What about you? Obviously, so yours is high schoolers, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, most of mine are high schoolers or they're teachers. So it's like I skip the 20 to 30-year-olds altogether, and that's the range that I probably identify with. And so it's like I got kids whose, screen names are like, Fortnite 88. And then I've got other people who don't even know how to start their own YouTube channel because they're, elderly math teachers who don't know how to do this anymore. I'm kidding. They're doing great. But yeah, it's fun. It's just, that's the thing with YouTube. It's like you try to connect and build this rapport with people that you don't get to stand in front of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're like in the classroom, or I'm assuming like from the stage, like you're seeing the people. Like you can adjust your talk based on like, oh, they're zoning out. Hey, let's stand up and do this. Or, oh, they're doing this. Repeat after me. You can change it because you can see it. Whereas when you make a YouTube video, it's like it's you and a camera. It's in an empty room or outside by yourself most of the time. And so it's like you can't gauge your audience by reading their face. And so it adds this whole new difficulty. I don't know. How do you analyze what you do, or like afterwards, like, okay, I got a lot of views. I think I'm going to try to stay in that lane. Or do you just say, you know what, this is how I want to present it, resonate or not? Like, how do you usually approach that?
Yeah, no, I think that's good. Man, I don't know what it is. I guess I don't look at analytics too much. I know I should. I know I am more obsessed with the storytelling aspect.
That's good.
And entertainment. I'd rather just read books about storytelling rather than read my analytics, because I know people that they're looking at it every minute
all
and
the time,
trying to figure out all the tricks. And I think that's so. I wish I had like an assistant who would do that for me. That would be the perfect world, right?
It's a great idea.
But for me, I've kind of defined my target audience, and I really just think of a person. So to me, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm talking to, I would say, a group of people, like a small group, when I look through the lens. And so I think, okay, I'm looking at the dreamers and doers here. Like I'm looking at those who haven't achieved their dreams, but that by golly, they're like obsessed with trying to do it. But I'm also thinking about how they've had a rough day and they just need to, relax and decompress. But also I'm thinking about how they're just really going through the pressures of trying to be a Jesus follower in the midst of this digital age. And so I'm trying to think of all those things. Like, what is this epic person that I just love, and these people I know in the comments, what do they need today?
Yeah.
Really does help me along in the conversation. And so like when I really like lean into the camera and try to talk to them, like I really am thinking I'm talking to somebody, even though it is kind of strange because this whole time I've been talking to an object.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But that's been a big thing. That's been helpful for me. That's what keeps me going. If this isn't for people, it just kind of gets really dull.
That's good. That's good. So you're thinking of your audience, but not in terms of views. You're thinking of more of like, how can I provide them with something substantial? How can I give them a story that they can follow, or something they can relate with or be encouraged by? That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's what I like about your content. It's like the focus. Like like I'm here to meet somebody's need, and that's essentially what I'm trying to do as well. I just have a very specific audience, and I'm like, I want to help them. At the beginning, I was trying to be all things to all people, and honestly, in my church plant, that's also kind of the temptation in the beginning.
Yeah.
But when you're starting out, you can't be. Like it's just you're going to wind up helping nobody. So that's been a process, even just for the life of our church, recognizing there's some strengths and weaknesses we inherently have in this current season, and that's okay. Let's just get really strong in these areas. And then, Lord willing, people will bring, God will bring other people that will help us in those other areas, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that makes complete sense. Like one of the phrases that we use a lot of time with relation to that is like, don't just put yourself in a position, because you could be good there when someone else could be great there. And so that's really cool. Bring in leaders and build them up. I love it. That's legit.
Yeah. So what would you say is your I know it's not even the beginning of the year anymore, but what's your chief strategy right now? Like you've been doing this for a while, you've had a lot of success. Like what are you looking to do in 2019 that's different?
I would love, because like I said, most of my stuff, like your stuff is you post a vlog and your audience that's committed, they'll come in and start watching it. Like you post new content, they're ready for the next part of your story. With mine, it's always been like, I just posted a bunch of videos. I've tried different series at different times, done tutorials, whatever it was. And then it's just like popcorn. Random videos hit. But if I upload a new one, it's like, oh, wow, like nobody is watching this. And it feels like initially it feels like, oh, wow, nobody cared. And then, 3 years from now, that could still be like, hardly anybody could have watched it. It'd be like 80 views, or it could have 20,000. So it's like when I'm making content, I've found that when it's content where I'm trying to provide value for people, like I have to be okay with it not getting a lot of traction up front, because I know that it might later, it might not. It just might not be the time for it to hit. And then the other stuff on my other channel where it's like more my family stuff or something fun that I just want to do, those projects, honestly, I barely look at what it gets. I'm just making the video because I want to. And a lot of them, my family and I went to Iceland last summer, and we filmed I was planning on doing a daily vlog, so 5 or 6 videos, one per day. Well, I got done and I was like, you know what? I didn't do it for 5 months because it was just daunting to think of editing that whole day. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna split it up. I'll do a video per place we stopped. And so I ended up making I think I've already edited 16 videos, and I haven't published any of them. I published 2 of them a while back, but I'm gonna publish the rest, Instagram and YouTube, and just to keep the content going, just stuff that I made for myself, even if I don't put it anywhere, because, I watched it with my family. So I don't know, it's a different mindset for my 2 channels. One, it's I want to provide value. The other, it's no, it's just an outlet for me to be creative. So
yeah, so I have a couple friends that have a lot of subscribers, and I really have found it's not necessarily a gift. For some of my friends, it's almost they loved it before they got big.
Yeah.
It's even that subscriber count number really does it debilitating things to people. They think, why did they come? I need to. So how do you stay encouraged? Because as you said, just by the nature of your content, it's always up and down. Sometimes it's just wow, that was way better. Other times it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
How are you able to wade through those and keep your head level and just keep uploading?
I go through spurts. I'll upload 30 videos in a month, and I won't upload for 2 months. So it's I'm not good at it, but I know that when I'm doing it, it's always just a long play. It's if I quit tomorrow, or if I die or whatever, I don't know, I eat a chicken wing and stop breathing, it's how am I going to provide value to people after I'm gone? And so that's my thing is even if nothing happens with it, even if it never, really just takes off, it's just for years until YouTube shuts down, maybe I'll get to help some students who are struggling with math get to hear it from somebody that they resonate with more than maybe their teacher or someone else on YouTube. So it's more I've kind of resolved to it might not happen, but I'm going to keep pushing into it and trying to provide value and connect with people either way. So I don't know, that seems like the worst answer ever, but I've already said it, so I can't take it back. So
no, I love that. I think a lot of my hope in doing these vlogs and producing content is one day it will. That's what's so great. God, if you really take somebody's life over and and I have a big part to play in it, they have loads of content for me to be able to edify them and help them and encourage them, even if you say, even if I do die. Well, I know I will die, but even if I were to die tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point of hey, I'm doing this. We're so in a society of now, you know, even yesterday is old news.
Yeah.
So it is helpful to be reminded of that.
I agree. Well, man, I've gone over your time limit by 3 minutes, so I'm going to let you go. You got another appointment. Guys, tell them where they can find you on the internets, and then we'll sign off, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I'm just Trey Van Camp, Trey. So if you just Google that on, YouTube, or I have TreyVanCamp.com. It shows all the links to everything. I do podcasts, YouTube channel, Instagram, all the millennial things. I do
all those things. Yeah. That's good. That's perfect. Well, I'm the same exact as him, except for Tyler Tarver is the name. So thank you guys for coming. Whichever podcast or world you're in, like, subscribe, do the things that the internet people do. Talk to you guys later. Peace. We did it. We did it. We learned something. Did you learn something today? In the chat, I want you to put the thing that you are taking away from today. Put one thing in the chat right now that you have learned or that you have realized or that's reinforced something you think. Put that one that I like to call this the golden nugget. Put the golden nugget from today in the chat. And that way, if somebody's missed it or they checked in, go ahead and you guys can copy paste what other people put. If there's some advice, you can screenshot it. Get this. I want you to throw in the best thing you learned today. It's like a best of highlight reel for your favorite thing that happened during this training. Toss that in the chat right now so we can share and grow together. Okay, we're about to do the evaluation. Before we do, I want to remind you, if you want access to this entire training at any time throughout the year, not just these live broadcasts, you can join the Tarver Academy Honor Roll. How'd I do this? Hey guys, Tarver Academy Honor Roll. It's like Netflix for teachers. Netflix for teachers, because you have resources, you have templates, you have PDs, trainings. It's literally like a library of trainings, and then access to ask questions, to request resources that I build and send out to teachers all around the world. So tarveracademy.com/honor roll if you want to join the greatest community on the planet. And I'm not biased at all. I mean, all of us, you're on the honor roll. You want to be on the honor roll? Sick. Let's all be on the honor roll. And I'm a dean, so you can be on the dean's list. Hey, that works. Okay. All right. Now it's time for your evaluation. I'd love to get your thoughts on what you thought for this, but also I'm going to send you a certificate saying that you sat through this training. You put in the time. You wanted to learn. You wanted to grow. You wanted to get better. This is going to be a certificate that I'm going to email to you. What I need you to do is I need you to go to the link on the screen or hover over the QR code with your phone. Get your phone out, hover over it. It's going to ask you a few questions. If you don't get this, it means that you put your email address in wrong. Make sure, please do not rush this. Type your email address in correctly. Please, I'm begging you, because if not, you're gonna email me, I never got my certificate. It's because your email address is wrong. Type in your email address correctly, fill it out, fill out your name, make sure you capitalize, make it look good, because it's gonna fill into the certificate from this. So I need you to put this in correctly, please. Okay, go there, we're gonna walk you through it. Go into this, click on the link, or you can't click on the link because it's on a video. Type in the link on your computer or type it in on your phone or whatever device you have. Scan the QR code, fill it out. I'm gonna send you a certificate with a timestamp on it saying what time you ended. You have proof from earlier if you sent in to the other link of what time you started. And then you also got your notes and all the stuff you've learned, your screenshots, all of that to show your administrator or whoever, your spouse. You show your friends, show people on the streets, all the learning that you did. You can frame that certificate. I think we're all getting framed. You get a frame, I'm getting framed. I'm gonna put it up on my shelf. I got too much stuff on my shelf already. So look at this, Lonzo Ball rookie card. If you got any, by the way, you got any basketball cards you want to sell? Hit me up. I've been slightly obsessed with basketball cards, and I apologize for bringing it up. Look at this. This is all Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball, I mean, he's the GOAT. Everybody says it. Who's in the chat? Who is your favorite basketball player of all time? I'd love to know. If it's Lonzo Ball, it's quite the coincidence because I had it sitting on my desk. If not, it's probably this guy. Probably this guy right here. See that guy? That's Michael Jordan. No big deal. It's whatever. Don't like to brag about it. I mean, it's not that expensive, that card. But if you got any cards you want to sell, holler at me. I don't know why I said that. I'm just stalling so you guys can fill out your evaluation. All right. Y'all feel good? I'm gonna leave this on the screen for you for a little while in case you had to step out for a second. I'm gonna leave this up. Thank you again so much for your attention and your time and everything that you put into learning and growing with us today. I'm Tyler. This is Tarver Academy. Let's learn to have fun. See you guys later.